Welcome to the Crofton Warrior Podcast, the only school podcast recorded at home. I got my entire family on the podcast today. I'm Jack Schieffer.
Not entire family.
Mom will be on it later, I swear.
I'm Jack's dad, Duane.
Who are you?
I'm Jack's oldest sister, Quinn.
And I'm Jack's other older sister, Karley. We have done this before.
You've both been on the podcast.
Daughter number
and
one,
it's fine.
daughter number two.
But
Yeah.
we're back.
Oh, God.
Dad, how's it feel being a girl dad?
Not any different than anything else, I
Were
suppose.
you, when you were birthing?
When Mom was birthing,
He didn't do nothing.
To be fair,
we were hoping for 10 fingers, 10 toes.
And for them to be
that's
creative and imaginative.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we ended up with
That's
that.
the
Yeah,
legend.
Definitely, yes.
No, Mom texted me that. She texted me that the other day, and I screenshotted it, so
and cried.
So I had proof.
Yep, it was just creative. That was Aunt Cheryl that said that at one time.
Was it really?
Yep,
Was that the dream?
creative and imaginative children.
That they were hoping for creative and imaginative children.
Yep.
And boy, did they get it.
You got to be careful what you wish for.
Because you just might get it.
How was the lead up to having a child?
Nervous.
awful. Okay.
I think. Well, I mean, okay, you guys knew we lost our first one. Anna was, and that just set the tone. It was just kind of tense for me. Let's make it through this, and get a child,
That was you.
Had you had conversations of like, I want 7. No, I want 1.
Not really.
Really?
Not really. It was, more than one because to me it's just
They
a lonely.
gotta have friends.
Only child.
Yeah, they gotta
only
They
children.
gotta have somebody
are
to pick on.
I'm just thinking of like you cutting Mom in here later where she's like, I did not want more than 4.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean that's when you were born and Mom made a comment to me. You have a son, and I was like, I really didn't care. I just wanted 10 fingers and 10 toes, and. So, yeah. So now
And
we have
I
a son.
remember telling me one time, and then I told him we were done. No more. After you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She made that comment. 'Cause
Well, that's what happens when you harvest the last one.
well, okay. Maybe some TMI here, but okay. She said, this is what 5 children have done to my body because we lost Anna and then we lost Grace as well. But this is what 5 children have done to my body. And she said, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
How was the lead up to it? So you're nervous.
We got 3. Nice.
I mean, just, I wasn't, shaking nervous. It was just, in the back of your mind all the time. It's like, okay, God's going to do what God's going to do, but we hope we can handle it. So
Have you handled it?
Have you handled it?
So far, so good.
Did a good job.
Yeah. So
I feel like
Yeah.
we haven't done anything too terrible.
Yeah, we were pretty okay kids, but that's thanks to them.
Yeah. Hard.
that's thanks to
kudos.
your mother. Yeah.
You give.
So as far as the lead up goes, that was just you take it things day by day, and it's okay.
Was there a moment in which you were like, "Wow, there's a kid now, and we just have to deal with"? Other than like, you hold
With
the
Quinn,
kid.
oh criminies, oh yeah. With Quinn, we're walking out of the hospital,
I'm
and it's like
excited to hear
Quinn
this.
starts dancing.
no,
They're letting us leave with this.
exactly. They're
Yeah.
letting us leave with this. Haven't we had classes? Shouldn't we have classes for this? No.
And I was little too, so it was
go to
more like
itty bitty teeny weeny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow polka dot bikini.
Yeah. Oh, that's an old one. But no,
You're wearing a yellow
Yeah, it's like they boot you out of
born
the
with it.
hospital. It's like, make sure you have a car seat in your car. It's like, what about everything else? What are we supposed to do? She slept in a basket, a clothes basket.
I've
At
heard
first.
this.
Really?
Yes, she slept in we put one on the floor.
And then one on the top
and
of
one
it.
on the top because we had flipping cats in the house.
And they didn't want
And we
them
didn't want them
killing me.
suffocating the little girl. So
Because that's the thing, the cat, they'll like sit
Do
on
cats
babies.
do that? Is
Yeah.
that a thing?
Yeah.
they'll climb in the basket and curl up with them. Not.
They-
Not
they don't
knowing it is a
know.
newborn child.
Yeah,
know,
they don't
I've-
know it, and they don't know they suffocate the newborn
my
child.
goodness.
They
So
just
they put a basket on top of the basket.
to
so
keep her inside.
I thought they put it in like
No.
Like one on top of the other.
They stacked them to save space.
No, I know. I was thinking about how Quinn was technically Jesus one time at church.
Quinn was
Oh, I
technically
sure was.
That was
When
Oh,
because
were
I was
you
born
around
in
Christmas?
Christmas.
Jesus?
Yeah, because I was born in end of September, so by Christmas I was still a little thing.
But like in the St. Joseph setup, that used to have like an actual baby-sized
Oh
thing.
my god.
and I
In the
was
manger.
said baby.
the manger.
And apparently
display.
she slept really well.
I was Jesus.
She did. You slept really well for a little while, and then you decided you were going to make some noise. I remember that.
See, but
Similar
everyone
to
needed
Jesus.
that at
So
Christmas
much has
Mass.
changed.
Everyone was like, "Oh,
Oh, is
Let's
that
put a baby on the
Duane
altar
and
and see what
Gingers?
happens.
Aw.
The first Jesus with a onesie.
yeah." And a girl.
Yeah, and a girl. Did you ever hear that joke? That at first Jesus was actually going to be named Norm until Mary stubbed her toe.
Norm. What happened to the baby named Norm?
Which one?
I'm gonna name my. I thought about it. I was saying today.
Normal man.
Phineas and Ferb.
What's your name?
Normal man.
Normal.
Normal
man.
man.
His name's Norman.
His name's Norman.
That's a Gravity Falls.
That's a Gravity Falls. Right?
Okay,
Good
okay,
one.
that's why I don't understand it.
First episode.
We were one of the first episodes.
One of the first ones.
We were standing. We're standing today, marching band, and Doyle Stevens goes by, and I was like, "Why aren't there any Doyles? Why aren't there any little baby Doyles?" And I said, I would name my kid Doyle before I'd name it Brecken. You know?
Oh yeah.
Are we having this
But
conversation again?
there's that ridge though.
There's a yeah.
Shout
that's
out
true.
to any
You didn't
Breckons
get that,
listening.
did you?
Shout out.
You didn't
any
get that, did
Breckons.
you?
I did not.
Breckenridge.
Oh, Breckenridge.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, terrible. I hate.
Thanks
I
for
hate
that.
that. But you know,
Wolf sound. Oh.
Carl's doing a crossword puzzle for all those who don't understand why Carl just said that.
What was the?
Is the
clue?
actual answer a woo?
Wolf sound. Oh.
Howl.
Howl.
Ah, thank you. That
Bark
was a dumb question, but I
bark.
think it was very funny.
Yip.
Yep.
Yip, yip, hooray.
Get the commuter
Screech.
the commuter crossword puzzle out of the
Yell.
Weird Herald.
The weird Harold.
It's A. No, it's
A-H.
A-H-H-H.
I was gonna W-O-W-W-W. Oh.
I love saying that dogs scream. I think it's a funny idea.
But we say Toby likes to go outside
they just
and yell
go,
at the world.
Just check with his buddies to make sure they're all asleep.
Genuine question: do you think animals have consciousness, like semi, like how humans do? Do you think dogs are like, I am a dog and woof woof?
No.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like
No,
a
I
cat will look at me, and I feel like
They
they
know
know
too
what I'm
much.
talking about. Yeah.
They know what's happening.
Like sometimes I'll talk to Ray after I get home
That's
from work.
Quinn's roommate's cat.
Yes. And he has a major RBF. He looks like he's so angry all
Well,
the
he's
time.
a cat.
No, but some cats don't, but he does.
You know what that means?
Oh, what?
RBF.
No.
Resting B word face.
Oh.
So it
I
looks-
can bleep.
I'd rather not.
resting face.
Yeah, got it. I caught that part of it.
Yeah.
But
PETA.
Yeah, sort
Cats
of
are
related.
PETA.
but sometimes I'll talk to him when I get home from work and
You talk to the cat?
Yeah, I do.
We talk to our cats.
and
I don't.
You just throw them.
I
You talk
hate.
to,
I don't know, 'cause
talk
my
to
room-
Toby.
I talk to. I
He's a
say,
good boy.
my
What's up,
roommates aren't home
Toby?
sometimes, so I'll just debrief him about my day.
It helps, though, doesn't it?
It does.
It may be inanimate objects as far as that goes.
People
You can
have-
talk to your plants.
Let me
People have
debrief.
told me that all the time. Anytime I've been having a hard time in high school or college, I just talk to animals or
talk to a tree.
Dad's
It's
told me that
okay to
before.
talk to yourself.
Dad's told me that before.
It's
Go-
okay to
go talk to
to
Toby.
respond to
That's
yourself,
one
but
of
it's a
those
problem
things.
if you start arguing.
That's one of those things that I
That's
picked
good
up
life
from you. I
advice.
talk to myself. I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
like doing something, and I'll be like, "Dang it, Jack, what are you?"
Yeah.
No, Dad told me that in high school. Go
Oh,
talk to Toby.
oh,
And
I
I
thought-
did.
Yep.
And I did,
Yep.
and it helps.
I did talk to Henry and Toby and Flora and Indy all
Those
the time.
are all pets.
Oh,
that
that's
we've
where I was
had.
going with that. That sometimes I feel like Ray is listening to what I'm saying, and
Oh,
I
so you
look
think
at
he
his.
has consciousness?
I feel like he does a little bit, or maybe he like was a human in his past life, so he knows what's going on. And I just look at him.
Back
and
to your
I'm like,
original question. No, I don't think animals have consciousness myself, but, well, I shouldn't say that.
I'm kinda half
Some
and half.
animals may have.
You think like
I want to say like chimpanzees.
some say
you know.
that like very intelligent.
Oh,
like
God,
aren't
yeah.
dolphins very
Yeah.
intelligent?
Yes.
Dolphins are
Do you
very
think dolphins
intelligent.
are there just like?
I think they have their own language.
They
Yeah.
probably do.
But
Plants do.
Now here's a
Plants talk to each other.
Octopus.
Yes,
They
octopi.
say have got are actually very
Yeah,
intelligent.
they say they're very smart.
Yeah.
So you think they're just like?
I think
what
like
up, dog?
I think like people, there are varying intelligences across any species.
Do you think there are any
Good point.
dolphins who are more intelligent than a human?
oh yeah. Heck yeah, I do.
I gotta agree with that. Yeah. Quinn has worked with a few of those.
Quinn is living proof.
Yeah. I mean that's the old IQ button.
Sure have. Good
The
lord.
old gauge for the IQ tends to slip past norm. You know,
Dad, what's rule
Past
number
norm.
1?
Pass.
people are stupid.
Jesus.
What's rule number 2?
Always remember, you're a people too.
Thank you.
Look at that life advice.
Somebody out there thinks you're a moron.
There are probably a lot of people out there that think I'm.
And
a
I
moron.
really don't give a nut.
I gotta give. I doubt the guy's still alive, but that was Dick Vesey. The guy's name was Dick Vesey. He was an instructor at Northeast Community College.
Oh, really?
That was the first lesson he taught us on day one of a class called Systems Analysis. Always remember, people are stupid,
Really?
but always remember, there's a caveat to rule number 1. You're a people
We're
too.
giving people an inside peepers into our lives.
I've been
sounds-
Somebody-
attributing that to you.
Yeah.
No, that was
That
Dick,
sounds like
Dick
Mr.
Vesey that
Door's
taught us that. And
birthday
he
note to
he
you.
has never been proven wrong. People are stupid.
Never been proven wrong.
They do stupid things. They say stupid things. That's why we have insurance.
We're getting
Because people are
As
stupid.
I was
As we
waiting
were
to
just talking about at dinner tonight.
I was waiting to see which dad would bring up first. Insurance, lawyers, California.
California.
Run away.
UCLA.
Oh, UCLA.
We had that conversation about all of those things tonight.
Is that
Yeah.
how that song goes?
UCLA.
I don't remember if USC was on TV. too.
California
Run
dreaming.
away. Just follow that fault line. And
You
just
got another good question for us,
Here's the
Jack?
question. This is the question that I asked Mr. Dorr the other day.
Mickey.
Which
Mickey Dorr.
He's probably more smart on this.
More smarterer?
He's more smarter on this than we are. But do you think that we're gonna have a 51st president before we have a 51st state?
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Very
think
confident.
yeah.
I think.
We'll have a 51st
Wait, what
before-
president is the next one? 47?
48.
This one is 46. Joe is 46.
Yes, the next one's
Oh,
47.
yeah, because they're 45.
So we have 5 more presidents, which
That's
on the
20
long
years.
end, that's 40 years. On the short end, that's 20.
Oh,
Good
wait,
math, good job.
So
Maybe I retract my statement.
do you think in like roughly, I mean, average it out,
Do you-
30 years?
Do you think we'll do tradesies? Like,
Trades.
Well, you're
Like-
just looking at Puerto Rico, aren't you?
You could do Puerto Rico. I think, you know what I think we should do?
shout out to American Samoa.
I think like American Samoa, Virgin Islands. They're not going to be a state.
U.S.
No.
Virgin Islands.
Washington D.C.
That is
Will
fair.
it be its own
That's-
state?
They have representative and
Stop.
votes though.
No,
for,
that.
Yeah.
They have electoral college
Yeah,
votes.
They have electoral college votes, but
They don't have any
They don't have any
representatives.
representatives or seats in the
Yeah,
Senate.
Right.
Which would be
Right.
I think that
Ew.
if we were to add a state, we should like combine the Dakotas.
But
Or
then that
like
would
combine
that
them
would
first and
subtract
then-
a
and then-
state.
Well, that would subtract a state, so then we don't have to change the flag.
I would say we should just blow up Wyoming.
I don't think they would go for that.
I don't think the big problem is the flag.
No, I don't think.
I think we
North and South
should-
Dakota would go for that.
I
or
think
like East and West Virginia.
let.
Oh, sorry.
No.
North and South Carolina.
East and West Virginia.
Good job, buddy.
there's mainland
West Virginia.
Why don't they call it that? It's North Carolina, South Carolina, North Dakota, South Dakota. Why is it Virginia and West Virginia?
Well, I'm sure
What's up
the
with
direction
that?
you got to go.
originally.
Yeah, but why isn't it East Virginia and West Virginia?
Well, originally it was probably just like, oh, this
was
is
just Virginia
Virginia
at first.
and then they decided to split it into 2 because that's the biggest.
I
state
don't
we
know.
have.
Did they do that or did it?
Just naturally
I-
formed a border.
Did they? Yeah. Did they have
Mountains.
Virginia and all the borders around Virginia, and
Mountains.
then go after
I think we should
additional territory and made it West Virginia? I don't know.
take.
I'm looking
I
it
think
up.
we should make DC into a state and then take Hawaii out, 'Cause
Really?
they just want to leave.
Really?
That's
Just
true, they
let
do.
them be
I mean-
themselves.
Well, you know what? I mean, there's some what's the word I'm looking
Legitimacy?
for? Legitimacy to that
Good job.
because Hawaii, theoretically, I don't know if
They
what
didn't
the
want to
truth
be a
is.
state in the first place.
No, they were just
annexed.
Yeah,
Like
they were
They
kind of
have
annexed.
they have their own
exactly.
culture, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
had their own government system in the first place.
But
America was like, "Tuk, tuk, 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 tuk."
Same thing.
what
for-
would they have for business, or what would they have?
Tourism.
Yeah, tourism is their business,
That is their
and that's
business.
So would they suffer?
I don't know.
Okay, this is what AI overview says.
I
on
hate
Web.
that thing.
I know. I
Kill
don't
it,
like
kill
it.
it with fire.
It told me. Siri told me. I looked up who was president in 1892, and then Siri told me it was Grover Cleveland, and then I actually looked it up, and it was Benjamin Harrison.
Wow, I
So
hate
it
that.
lied
Made me,
to you?
but
Siri was
it was
wrong.
it was an election year, so Grover Cleveland was elected.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway,
Oh, I thought they were just trying to get rid of Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison.
I couldn't remember who you mentioned.
So, West Virginia became a state. West Virginia became a state in 1863 after a group of delegates from Western Virginia, counties,
Western Virginia.
Western
okay.
Virginia counties formed their own government and negotiated a compromise with the federal government.
So it's like
you
Texas.
go.
So they didn't like Virginia, and they made their own form of government. So
Texas.
so how far could we get if we said Duane is our governor? We are North Nebraska.
Oh, they've already tried with Western Nebraska. They tried to secede.
Did they really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've already
was
said that,
this?
all the populations over on the east side were getting treated like crap. Let's form our own.
They tried to form
There's been. I don't think it's
Have
gotten
they ever
very
tried
far.
to, rather than like become their own state, have they tried to become part of Utah or something? Why Utah?
That doesn't.
Not-
No,
Colorado?
I think they just went
Or
with
Wyoming?
we want to be West
wanna be
West Nebraska
West
or whatever
Nebraska?
state just to
Panhandle, Nebraska.
just split Nebraska into.
I'm looking.
Yeah, let's
this
just
up.
call it the Panhandle.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
that thinking about
Florida
the
has
names
one
of
of
it.
And you look at it. I mean, my uncle Dan always said that the United States itself should be split into 3 different countries. It should be West.
They say that about
Midwest,
California.
and East.
That should just be its own country.
They think
It
no, they
can.
think that California should be 3 states. Has been
Oh,
the
yeah.
proposition.
Yeah.
Along, this is with several other people just being like Texas should be their own country.
Well, they were at one time.
They were at one time.
Yeah.
But there's 1,000 different things. Going
They
on.
should just split up the states like they do Nebraska. With
For
like,
electoral
With-
vote.
with-
This
Electoral
was
votes.
in 1973.
What was in 1973?
with the Nebraska Panhandle.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
this is recent.
Recent,
Well,
quote unquote.
recent.
Our
When
father
Duane
was
was
alive.
9.
That's true, but
How does it? You know what I realized? You know what I learned?
Your father was alive. Oh my
Side,
That
side
makes it
note.
recent.
Side note. You know what I learned? And I mentioned this on a podcast that has.
I
already
know what
come
you're
out.
about to
Yeah,
say.
the high five was
Yes.
not a thing until 1975. What did you do before it?
when you were a child.
We didn't bump knuckles. I think we might have had low fives. I don't know.
Really? Really?
Accurate. No,
Oh,
I was
loophole.
during the whole Nebraska.
Y'all were
succession
dapping
thing,
up in the 60s.
We're dapping up in the 60s.
I don't think so. Well, okay. If you look at some of the sitcoms and stuff, I think they did. I think they, they do all the knuckle busting and everything like that.
So it was specifically a high five.
Yeah,
was
specifically a high five didn't come around.
Really?
What was it?
That was
When was
much
it
needed
created?
context.
For what?
79. What'd you say? 78.
Hey
79?
Siri, when was the high five created?
Like for what
I think
purpose?
1975.
Like who came up with it?
1965. Never mind.
We're going deeper.
But
Well,
you were
Siri's
still
lied to me before. So wait. When-
The high five originated from the low five.
yeah. See, low
So
you
the
were-
low five came before the high.
So you were low
1977
five.
says AI overview.
Low five began in the 1920s.
Really? So it was just the high five.
Instead of a
It's
handshake,
kind.
I
Yeah,
suppose.
it's just a more casual handshake.
Throwing hats in the air.
Now everybody wears hats now.
Back then.
Back then they all had top hats on all the time. I think.
Oh, or
Fedoras.
Fedoras.
slapping
yeah.
a friend's back or shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
we went for
Or if you're playing baseball, it was swapping them on a butt.
Nope.
Yeah.
They really liked wearing fedoras.
I
I
always-
really like Wayne.
I always imagine. Do you also imagine a fist bump as a secondary to a high five? I think of high five as number 1 and fist bump as number 2. I don't think of them as separate.
No,
they're separate things, but like I imagine a high
I go
five.
the other. I would
think
go
they're
backwards.
separate entities.
Do you
Really?
prefer a fist
Yeah.
bump?
You would say a fist bump is number one?
Yeah, I would say fist, especially with little kids.
Oh,
You can't do a high five with a little kid. You're just
Yeah, but then
That's
you
when
hit
you hit 'em with a low
then you
five.
no, you do the
See?
high
But they
five
teach 'em all.
down
Give me
low.
knucks,
Too
yeah,
slow.
they give them nuts.
But a lot of people teach babies high five first, so then I like to see if they know knuckles.
Oh.
And if they do, I'm like, yes. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't know knuckles.
Sometimes
They
they're
know
not
high five, but
intelligent
they
enough.
don't know knuckles.
I think
Then I'm
about-
like, hey, do this.
Hey, do
Like-
this.
Yeah.
Form their hand into a knuckle.
I do. I've done it before.
I realize that. If I have a kid, probably gonna, I don't know where my life's going.
Someday.
If I have a kid, that kid doesn't know anything. I realize that, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a reference, and I'm gonna
You got to watch what you.
I'm gonna say sweaty balls, and then
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
everybody's
what? How do I run?
What? Run with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be like, break a leg, and they're gonna be like, what's a leg?
We have.
What is that supposed to mean?
They
You
don't know
want
any-
me to
they
break
don't
my
know-
limb?
You want me to break a leg?
Did you
What is
see-
that?
did
What do
you
those
see
words
the-
mean? I don't speak English.
Did you see the thing where the first grade teacher had kids fill in popular sayings, and they said like better late than pregnant?
Oh, be careful what you wish for. Yeah.
Okay, what were you gonna say, Dad?
We have
Quinn just got it.
at work. We have a lady who is a new mom.
Good job.
Okay, and she is being
Proud.
consistently amazed at her little daughter, who is like a sponge. You know,
yeah?
she picks up on everything, and of course, it's the kids are always picking up the things you don't want them to pick up.
Oh, yeah.
First.
Little Billy hit the whip the other day.
But she's just amazed at how much of a sponge her daughter is. And-
Like curse
yeah.
words?
Did you ever have
Oh
that?
yeah, oh yeah,
Did we
that
ever do
and
that?
swearing at the chickens and.
Did you ever
Let
have
me
any
whip.
regrettable experiences with us like that?
Did we ever go
No,
into
not
church
really.
and go,
No, not really.
Frick.
No, because we
Whip.
we didn't we don't swear at home, or we didn't before.
Really?
No, they
We
didn't.
No,
I
not at all.
remember.
We don't
Seriously.
like swearing at home.
wow.
But it's
It
kind of
was a
difficult.
rare
to,
occasion.
yeah.
It was.
I remember, yeah.
You had to stub your toe.
Frick
you
a
know.
frick.
Oh, more than that.
Well,
More
I
than
remember
that.
you specifically saying that you could swear on the golf course.
That I can get away that way.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just
get away
told a
there.
lot of listen but don't repeat. That's
Yeah.
what I was told.
But you had to be old enough to understand that.
That's a good point. If I was
know.
like 3, I'd be like, what does those words mean?
yeah.
What does those
We
words
were big Y people.
Were we big-
Why?
Why?
Why? Yeah.
I've been.
Sound like those characters on that was on Sesame Street.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep, yep.
Yep.
Yep,
I was told.
I know,
Well,
I
I
know.
saw on like TikTok or something that people say when your kid's going through the why stage, just answer everything with I don't know. What do you think?
I saw that.
I've also
Probably
seen
would've saved
videos
a
where
lot of time,
he
yeah.
just comes up with something arbitrary,
Yeah.
just makes up an answer.
How's the moon up there? I thought it was a little dark at night, so I put it up there.
I would not be a good parent. in that
exactly
regard.
stuff like
I would
that.
do that to your kids.
Do it to everybody else's kids.
Yeah,
That's like when people would.
Oh, that was a rich story. That was a rich story.
God.
a rich story.
A rich story. Okay, your cousin Andrew
Who's rich?
is 28 years old today.
Yes. Today?
Today.
Wow.
Saturday.
Today?
Yeah. He's 28 years old today. The story on him says, I am his godfather.
Oh, I know
Did
this.
you give him
story
a
that you-
toy with batteries?
No. No, it did not have batteries.
That's a different story.
However, your Uncle Marlon gave you a toy with batteries.
And then they would throw it out the window.
You guys were
toy
so
gun.
kind and got them
No,
educational things.
That's what I would
books
do to
and-
all my nieces and nephews. I would get them educational things, blocks with the letters on them.
Oh,
all that kind of
wow.
thing. Well, it just happened. I was in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and we went to the Oshkosh Bagosh store.
Oh yeah.
And they had a train whistle.
I remember this.
And yes, I gave that to Andrew for his birthday, and Uncle Marlon said that lasted like 4 days and it got thrown away.
yuck.
Andrew couldn't find it anymore.
Couldn't find it.
Oh, that was loud.
That's gonna be how you guys know if I'm mad at you in the future is if I give your children something with batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Progressively bigger Nerf guns every
I'll
birthday.
take out the batteries.
I would use the Nerf guns. On
Give
the
me something with batteries.
I'm gonna give them music production software.
Like, give me one of those.
Learning guitars.
One of those stroller things that has
With the
all
popper on it.
The
The
one of
popper,
those.
yeah.
I was thinking one with all those buttons on it. It'll have like a
No,
little
give it
piano
to
and
me.
all the little
No, with the ones with
animal
the ball, the
noises.
little balls in them, and they go. Oh.
I want to push.
I love that.
I want to push one of those around.
Side note, part of me has always wanted to break my leg just so I could have one of those little scooters.
I had a friend of mine in
They
college.
see me rolling.
I had a friend of mine in college whose son, she got her a Bissell.
His son, she got her a
She got him a Bissell,
Oh.
Bissell brush. So he would drag that around the apartment and clean the apartment.
I
He
have
didn't
heard of
even-
that. I've seen people where they take like those really fuzzy gloves, like with all the little
Oh,
like,
yeah?
things on them. It's like
Little
bright yellow.
Microfiber
fringy.
gloves.
Yeah, and
but
they
big.
would make a
Like
baby
little
onesie out of
beans.
it, so the top of like the front part of the baby is just a glove. So,
they're-
then they would
Roll them around on the floor and clean the floor.
Scooching around on the floor and they're cleaning it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's intelligent.
Put that baby to work.
Quote Quinn Schieffer 2024.
Put that
Make
baby
your
Put that
keep.
baby to work.
Make your keep.
You're in this house.
Ian!
You will survive.
Do you have another thought-provoking question?
What is a good thought? 3 genie wishes.
Oh gosh.
You've asked me this before and I
Okay,
don't have an answer.
there was a series on. Was that on?
Do I know?
David Duchovny was on it. What was
More
it?
wishes?
Do I
Are you
know?
X-Files.
stupid?
Basic genie rules.
X-Files. That was an interesting episode at one time because
Is the genie malicious?
What?
well, see that was
Oh, that's
part
a
of the
good
X-Files that time.
You just gotta be specific.
Is he gonna screw me?
Like the guy,
Yeah, but
the
it's
guy
not-
wished for world peace, and the genie just made everything.
Killed
Stop.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no traffic on the street. There was no.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just, that was
That's
world
what I'm saying.
peace.
If it's a genie that I have to be specific,
I
like,
think.
I want to jump really high and he turns me into a frog, do I have to tell him I want to jump really high, but I don't want to be a frog.
And then he,
I
like,
don't
pokes
want to
your
be
eyes
a
out.
Yeah.
grasshopper.
Yeah,
I
that's the kind of
don't
thing.
want to.
Just for the sake of the argument, I think he's a nice genie.
So what I say goes.
What you say goes, and there's no like
There's
fine
no-
print,
Yeah.
That's where you wish for. If you wish that, hey, if I ever want to buy something, I have enough money.
Yeah.
I
See,
that's
You
great.
don't wish for $1 million because you can run out of $1 million.
This has been my rant. I think that I always
want-
say I want a box combo, extra toast, no slaw, and I'm like, I can go bigger. I'll have a button where if I press it, I can get a box combo, extra toast, no slaw. But then I'm like, oh, what if I could just think about it and get a box combo, extra toast, no slaw? But then I think, what if I could just think of something and have it?
You might want to fix that.
And I could just be more and more.
I-
I can just get bigger and bigger with
Can
my
I say my really
requests.
good one right off the bat?
What's your really good one?
Everybody's communication skills increases tenfold right now.
I like that.
But then that would be the norm.
But it'd be better.
That's a good point.
You think it would be better?
You know what I'm gonna
That would be the status quo. Quinn's gonna wish for several trinkets.
Here's my 3 wishes.
Okay,
This is
that-
all
that,
3?
That goes back
I'm
to.
gonna wish for one of my arms to be rotating clockwise all the time.
You're
Then I'm gonna
terrible.
wish for one of my
Yeah,
other arm to
stop.
rotate counterclockwise all the time, and then my other one is gonna be I wish for my head to nod back and forth all the time.
Carly's in the dark.
I am a little bit in the dark.
Dad, tell the joke.
I think I've
I
heard
don't
this joke.
remember the joke.
Go ahead, tell the joke.
Okay.
I think
I
I
definitely
barely
have heard
remember
this
the
joke.
You've told
joke.
the joke.
I was the one who told you this joke.
I've definitely heard
Oh,
it,
Dad
but I'm
told the
also
joke.
just
Oh.
really tired.
Okay, so there's these 3 guys. These 3 guys, they find a lamp.
They
and
all work together.
They
He doesn't.
they rub the lamp, and the genie pops out, and the genie says,
Hey,
he
I'm a
says-
genie. Hey.
"Yeah, you give background commentary. I'll give the basics, and then
Okay,
you,
I'll just act it out.
yeah."
Okay.
So the genie says to these guys,
Hey, fellas, you got 3 wishes. I give you 3 wishes to each of you fellas. You get 3 wishes.
he's being nice. So he's giving
9
each of the
wishes in
guys
total.
3 wishes. Okay.
Wow.
So the first guy goes, I wish for $1 billion. I wish for
Yes.
$1 billion. I'm gonna live so comfortably. It's gonna be great. So then Genie snaps his finger. He gets $1 billion.
Says,
It's
on God,
awesome.
here's $1 billion.
Goes to the second guy. Second guy says, I want to never run out of money. I don't want a finite amount of money. I just want to be rich and wealthy forever.
Never have to worry about money.
Yeah, and then Genie says, "Boom, you got it."
Boom, you got your money. I give you your money. You don't have to worry about money.
That's what the genie sounds like. Then he goes to the third guy,
Thank
That's
you,
my
Genie.
Robin Williams impression.
and the third guy says, "I want my left arm to rotate clockwise all the time forever. I don't want it to ever stop. And the genie's like, you sure, man?
Is this like a long joke where it's just it's
Listen.
Shaggy dog.
Quiet. Be quiet. Stop it.
So he's like, all right, if that's what you
On
want.
Jawed.
Boom.
Crap.
His left arm
Snap,
starts
it's real.
going.
Starts
It's going clockwise. Like big in the, like
Forever.
windmills.
I feel bad for the listener.
Like
'cause I
windmills
put
all the
them in
time.
this
It's not like going
position.
super fast. It's just kind of like it's like
It's
a slow.
going.
It's going. Okay, so then he goes to the.
What
goes-
do you want for your second wish? I'll give you anything for your second wish.
What
he
about
says.
bada bing, bada boom? What do you want?
Beep.
Like that for real.
I'm having a New York stroke.
So he goes to the first guy. First guy says, I want to have the most beautiful woman be super into me. You know, I want this really hot babe to be my wife. And Jeannie's like,
A beep.
boom, this lady appears out of nowhere. She's hot.
she's like, she's hot.
Clung to his side, and he's like,
Just,
yes. And then he goes to the second guy, and the second guy's like, I want to be irresistible to all women everywhere. And Jeannie's like, awesome.
Oh, all the women love you.
And then this guy's wife runs to this guy, you know. So it's,
And then several other women come out from the bushes.
yeah.
Okay.
They're like, oh my God, guy number 2, you know.
Oh my goodness, man number 2. Your name's John, I think.
Then he goes to the third guy, and the third guy says, I want my right arm to move counterclockwise, the same as my left arm, but counterclockwise.
And
it's
forever.
my right arm. Forever, never stop. And the genie's like, you sure, man? That sounds kind of awful. And he says, nope, that's what I want. And then, okay, boom.
A beep.
Why is he New Jersey Italian?
What do you have against New Jersey Italians?
Next. So guy's arm starts going. He looks kind of ridiculous right now, but, you know, that's what he wished for.
It happens.
Okay, so he goes to the first guy again. Okay, what's your last wish, man?
What's your last wish,
And-
man?
First guy says, you know, I want to live a long life. I want to be healthy. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to, you know, I want my body to feel good for the rest of my life. And Jeannie's like, yeah, that's a good wish. I like that. Boom.
Yeah.
Sounds good. His skin instantly like looks a little younger. His body, his joints feel a little better. Great. Goes to the second guy. Got to one up him, of course. And he says, I want to be immortal. I want to look young.
I want to be 35 forever.
Which is a
Yeah.
curse in itself.
I want to
Yeah,
look
do that.
young. I want to be beautiful. Body feels good and immortal. I live forever. Boom.
Good snap.
Looks fantastic. And then third guy says, I want my head to nod back and forth.
Up and down, really.
Up and down. Yeah. All the time. Forever.
Forever.
Yep. That's what he wants. And Jeannie's like, you know what? I'm not even going to question it at this point. So, boom.
Starts going.
And his head start going. So, now you've got these 3 guys.
They disperse.
Yeah. They disperse. They go off, live their lives. They
Scatter.
reconvene in
10 years.
10 years. 10 years or so. They come back and...
Show up at a bar.
Yeah.
3 men previously of genie origin walk into a bar.
First guy, they're asking each other, how's your life been? Blah blah. Yeah, since we found that genie. And the first guy's saying, oh man, it's been great. I feel so healthy. I've
I
invested
have a
my
beautiful
money.
wife.
I have a beautiful wife. Things are going great.
My wife is great in bed.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
I've
it.
quadrupled my money. It's been great. And second guy says, yeah, I'd have to agree. You know, I'm feeling really good.
His wife is great in bed.
His wife is great in bed. I haven't aged a day.
Okay.
I don't need to invest any of my money because I have it forever.
Yeah.
And then gets to the third guy, and, his wishes were ridiculous. And he says, guys, I think I made a mistake.
Oh, it was a shaggy dog.
That was a shaggy dog joke.
Oh, lovely. I just wasted, 15 minutes?
I hope you guys enjoyed that joke.
I hope he keeps all of it in.
I'm going to keep all of that in.
Good.
I have no choice but.
Guys, you here.
Hey, Steve!
No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
You're going to have to tell that one.
I'm not going to
So in
tell
case
that
you
one.
listeners
Not
were
on
wondering-
the podcast.
We do
What?
all of the jokes and we split it into like 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
It would have to be. It would take that long.
There's certain jokes that Dad has told us over the years. That's one of them. There's the "Hey Steve" joke, the
Hey, Steve
Shaggy
joke,
Dog
Shaggy
joke.
Dog joke. My favorite joke is still
Cat.
Oh, what's the one? The
two fish are sitting in a tank. That's my favorite.
2 fish are sitting.
That
in
wasn't
there.
one
what's
from
the
you.
prom
They
one?
bang up
The
against the
prom
wall.
one?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
prom season?
punchline.
The fish one, is that where they run
Yeah.
into a wall and went,
No,
damn.
no, two fish are sitting in a tank, and one turns to the other and says,
Oh, yeah.
How do you drive
How do
this
you drive
thing?"
this thing?
I love that one.
Carly, you think of a joke. Think of your favorite joke. I'll say mine.
What's your
Guys,
favorite joke, Quinn?
Dad, do you know my favorite joke? I'll tell you right now.
Oh, I was gonna say the.
Thank God you
Can I,
asked.
can I say the only one I could think of off the top of my head?
No, I'm gonna go first.
Aw. Go ahead,
What's
Quinn.
green,
Oh, yeah.
has 4 legs, and if it fell out of a tree, it would kill you?
It's
Think
a
about-
pool table.
It's a pool table.
Oh, I was gonna say
I love that joke.
two muffins are sitting in an oven, and
Yeah.
one goes, "God, it's hot in here," and the other one goes, "Oh my God, a talking muffin."
That one's a classic.
Oh my God.
There are some jokes that I just
Wait,
assume
no,
that everyone has
pause. You
heard.
told your favorite. I told my favorite.
I'm
Carly
not
told her.
talking- Oh, yeah, Dad, what's your favorite
what's
joke?
your favorite
I can't
joke?
tell you that. It's not for radio.
Not for radio.
Wait, tell us privately, and then Jack will just
Yeah,
bleep
you
it
can
out.
tell us.
Oh, it's just gonna be one long string of bleeps.
Yeah.
Or just like, yeah, just put.
You need to put in
some
like elevator music.
We're going to cut right here.
I knew it was coming, but I.
So what's the first one?
No, I'm not going to tell you that.
Please tell us.
And you,
Was this like Game Club Crew?
yeah.
I believe
Yeah, that was Game Club too. I still want, I to this day, I wonder, Leader's house has got to have stuff up in the ceiling or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
we've
leader,
talked
if
about
you're
this.
listening to the
Oh?
pod.
Why?
Has Leader ever said anything about that?
No. What?
Jack, this is how you know if leaders listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ask
that
her.
was-
Oh, it's marching season.
Well, we had Christmas parties.
Dad's told me
when-
this before.
When Doug and Sherry lived in their house.
Oh,
When
yeah,
Doug
they
and Sherry
did.
owned that house. Mm-hmm. And we had Christmas party. We always had white elephant gifts.
Oh, yeah.
And
God, they were bad.
yeah, everybody would gang up and leave them there. Everything that we would get, we would leave there.
Go distract Doug and Sherry.
Stuff
and-
them up into the ceiling tiles and put them in the bathroom, in the medicine chest, or whatever. We would just leave everything there. And yeah, I don't know if Leaders found it all yet or not, but
There
Oh
might be
my
some stuff
God.
hiding in her house.
there may be stuff hiding in
Because
her
did
house,
Doug and
exactly.
Sherry ever know? Did they ever find out?
Oh, they would find out, yeah. Oh, yeah.
but the
But
stuff
some
in
of
the
it they
ceiling-
might
Oh,
not
like,
know
just in
about.
case.
yeah, some of it they because I remember the little big, there was a big bag of that somebody bought one time.
And
I don't
we're
know where
cutting
they
again.
nobody knows where they came from. And nobody knows, but they ended up at Doug and Sherry's house and up in the ceiling tiles. But
It's for the rats. Stay
Oh,
safe.
rats. Stay safe.
Stay safe out there.
Stay out there. Yep.
Stay safe out there, Crofton. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Do we want to fix the topic of conversation? It's gotten rough in here, guys.
Crofton Warrior Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
How long have we been doing?
Ladies and gentlemen.
42 minutes.
Holy jeez.
Does Mom want a podcast?
Well, but probably 20 minutes of that was that one joke.
Yeah.
No, it was 5.
Actually,
think I made a mistake.
we'll take that out, and then Mom can give her birth story experience.
I think it might be 2 separate episodes because a 42
back
minutes.
to that kind of stuff. You were probably the easiest.
Hey.
Oh, really?
You heard it here
Oh,
first.
you were a pain.
Well,
Well, you were upside down.
I've never been a pain.
You told that
He
in your
knows
life
that he
story.
has.
You were upside down.
I was birthed, yes.
Yeah,
I
and
was,
then-
You weren't.
we had
You
to
were
go in
harvested.
and-
You were harvested.
Yeah, we had to go in at like 7 a.m. and the doctor. Can I say his name? I don't.
I mean, I don't.
I mean, we've
care.
Yeah, you
talked
don't
about
remember it.
I don't remember him.
Neither do I.
But yeah, he flipped you around.
how.
A lot of pressure, a lot of pushing and all. And
It's like the same way you would move.
A calf.
I was trying to think of like
The same way you would move a medicine ball through a large
or like a
tube.
marble,
I'm not sure.
marble through a sock or something.
There you go.
Actually, no.
Marble through a straw.
Not-
without
No,
being able to tilt a
it would be like fishing that string through on your hood.
There you go.
Push it, push it. Pull
There
it,
you
pull it.
go.
Anyway,
That's the right
yeah,
way to say
you were upside down, and they had to right you, and then
that. Flip me up.
induce
myself.
labor, and then you were a little and you flip back.
Wasn't? Hold on. Can I ask Mom a question quick?
Sure.
Mom, wasn't I the one that you went in for an appointment? And they were
Regular
like, "You're in
appointment.
labor?"
Yep.
Yup.
I am correct.
For
June
listeners, she said,
30th.
"Yup."
Because I was at
Because Dad was pissed because I was born at end of month, end of
quarter, end of month, and yeah,
For a banker, I was hell.
You're a terrible.
yeah, because
But for labor, I was better.
we had to make all these report entries or these general ledger entries and everything. I had to do that all over the phone with one of the ladies that worked there.
Oh.
So, but yeah, we went in for a regular
At
appointment,
like 10 a.m. and then I was out by 4.
and Mom was complaining because Dr. Farrell said, have everything been okay? Wow, your mom said my back has just been really, really sore, and he did his examination and went, "That's because you're in labor, dear."
Hashtag birth time, Ginger.
Went
Hashtag
from
birth
went from the
time,
clinic
Jane.
to the hospital and was like, "Let's go." So
And then I was like, hey, what's up?
You went.
Yeah,
came
and
out
you were born in-
Deuce's family.
I am not a crook.
Deuces parentals. What did he say, Ms.
He said, I am not a crook.
How does it feel living through so many eras? Not,
I
this
really
is
haven't
not meant
lived
to be
through-
an old joke.
I haven't
But,
really
like-
lived through that many eras.
Well, I mean, you've
mean,
lived.
I get it that technology has really.
Yeah, how
taken
crazy is that?
But I think of
Like all the decades
my
that you've
uncle.
lived through?
I think of my uncle who was born in 1923. The things he lived through.
A war.
Great Depression.
What they were
War.
just he wouldn't have remembered World War I, but he lived through World War II and the Korean War and the Vietnam War and
The
people-
70s.
Well, Jack, you remember going over to his house and helping him program his TV
Yeah, that's
remote.
all I remember is him calling us and saying, my TV remote's not working." And
Who is
so we
this,
drove
Alvin?
over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we
Uncle
drove
Alvin.
over, and we were like, "Oh, you're not pressing the power button." That's why.
It was something really simple.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know.
This is a guy who was an absolute genius. I mean, he really was. He was an absolute genius. I mean, John Deere tractors, he could take them apart and put them back together, blindfolded.
Wow.
But an 8th grade education.
Yeah.
I remember when he was telling me the story when he served in World War II. He was in the last part of his duty. He was in Fort Dix, in New Jersey, and he was made company carpenter. And I said, "What the heck did you know about carpentry?" And he said, "Oh, them blank fools." He said, "I was just using common sense. They thought I was a genius." And I'm
Yeah.
like, well,
I was just
you kind of are.
To be fair, he was.
I just
He
know
was
normal
very,
farm,
very intelligent.
normal farm carpentry.
The story I love to tell about Uncle Albin. Okay, first of all, you guys have been on the place. There's junk everywhere.
Everywhere.
I don't think they threw
Still
anything
is.
away.
It's because Schieffers like to tinker.
Well, they like to hold on to stuff because it might be good for something.
You might
someday.
need it. Sheila said, who has that Grand Lane?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. You got to save this because it might be useful. But Uncle Albin, that was when I think
Shut
I
up.
was probably in 7th or 8th grade, and we were hauling manure.
As you do.
Rad.
And there was a sprocket. We hit a sprocket with the loader.
That feels like an amalgamation of words.
A sprocket?
Yeah.
Okay, that was where
spring
it's a
in a
gear,
socket.
a gear with teeth,
Oh, okay.
a gear with teeth, and that drove a chain. Okay, so from the tractor, the power takeoff on the tractor, that would turn the sprocket, and the sprocket was hooked to the chain. Anyway, we broke this sprocket on this manure spreader. And I asked my dad, your grandpa, I said, "What do we do? Go to John Deere and get this thing?" And he said, "No, go talk to Uncle Albin first." And I drove over there, and I had to describe what sprocket it was, and do you have one? And Uncle Albin sat down, and he while he was sitting, and he always, when he was thinking, he'd put his finger up to his lips. And he said, "Go down to the shop.
Oh, he's one of these, isn't he?
Go down to the shop, and on the north side of the shop is a mulberry tree."
Yep.
I've eaten
And-
mulberries from that tree.
And he said that now there's underneath that mulberry tree there is a shield from an Owatonna grinder mixer that's leaning up against the tree. He said, pull that back. He said, there's a shaft under that there with that sprockets on that shaft.
How the
And
Grandma
I
Grimm's the same way.
I said, I went and got it. I mean, it
was there.
It was there. And I went and got it, and I said, now, what is this off of? And he said, I think that's off a number 6 silage chopper. And I said, a number 6 silage chopper, John Deere silage chopper. Yeah, he said, they're interchangeable. Between the manure spreader and the silage chopper, those are interchangeable sprockets. He said, that's the right size.
What on earth?
Yeah, number 1, to remember where it was.
Yeah.
And number 2, to remember that it fit both places. It was like, are you flipping kidding me?
It's so cool to me to see that sort of stuff. Like, that people know that sort of stuff. Nowadays, you Google,
Yeah.
hey, are these things
Yeah.
interchangeable? They just know it.
Yeah, they just know it because
Either because of the size or
Trial
like,
and
because
error.
they've done it.
Yeah, AI, that
Yeah.
helps. But he had it all in his brain. He just
Yeah.
he remembered everything.
Well, that's what happens when people are like.
But he couldn't
best at what they do.
But he couldn't program his TV remote.
Yeah.
you know.
That's not something he's used to.
Everybody's got something.
And I had another uncle. I've referred to Uncle Dan before. Uncle Dan was a civil engineer, absolute genius. But he didn't get jokes. He didn't
Really?
he didn't understand jokes. I don't know if that was because they used a different part of your brain or what. But yeah. So anyway, he helped. He told me, I don't know. I can't remember the firm he worked for, the architectural firm he worked for, but he helped design Epley Airfield.
Did he really?
The runways on the Epley Airfield. Yeah.
That's cool.
Our great uncle.
Okay, what year did we go to Washington D.C. with you?
2016.
Dad, you want to move your mic?
It was either 16.
There we go.
It was either
It
16
was
or
the
17.
year after my 8th
You were in 8th grade, right? Or
year
the summer after your 8th
Which was
grade?
the year after my
26.
7th, so 2017.
17.
Because Epley Airfield was flooding.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
No.
And I was online. I was emailing back and forth with Uncle Dan, wondering if we were going to be able to get home. Flying from Washington, D.C. to Omaha, I was wondering if we were going to be able to get home. And he said, no, you're fine. He said, I helped design that airfield. And
What a flex.
he said
That's
the
wild.
runways are just slightly higher than the rest of the airfield area. And he said, there are pumps that keep the water out. There's sand points that let the water back in. But he said we designed it with these big pumps because we anticipated that.
What else did he design? Jeez Louise.
He spent a lot
Are
of
we
time.
gonna be okay?
He spent
No,
a lot
I
of
know
time
design
working
it.
for the Air Force.
Okay, back up. You guys both just missed that.
I said Mars rover.
No.
I made a
No,
joke.
he didn't.
Working for the Air Force.
Yeah.
Working well, he worked for this architectural firm or engineering firm, whatever you want to call it, and they did a lot of government work. So he spent. I know there was at least one trip, possibly two, that they flew to Alaska, the Aleutian Islands.
No way.
And had to do design runways for the Air Force up there.
Did
and-
not Dort work for the government?
She was but she was a secretary.
To all the listeners right now, my face is baffled.
Yeah.
It has a
Uncle
baffled
Dan.
expression.
Uncle Dan spent two tours. I guess you would call them tours in Saudi Arabia,
What?
designing because of agreements between U.S. government and Saudi Arabian government.
Sorry,
That,
what the hell?
That's
What in the
wild.
world?
But he said Aunt Lou would never make it over there. She was too used to being. Saudi Arabia is very male dominated. Would they say it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So and the spouses would walk 3 feet behind their husband and keep their mouth shut.
It's like Lou.
Lou
Yeah,
would
Lou would
not
never.
deal
She
with
never
that.
would have. Lucine was her real name, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, she would do that. She would not last over there. And he spent some time. I know he went to Germany a couple of times working.
Couple times.
Working for the government or working for his architectural firm, or engineering firm, with Air Force Base runways. And I know there was 2 times. Aunt Lou said the first time he came back and he had it was a direct flight. And so he was very tired when he got back. She said that was preferable because the second time he came back, he had a layover and he got a nap. And he came back and driving home from the airport, he hopped behind the wheel. Well, he came from Germany.
Oh
with
my
the,
God.
With the Autobahn. And no speed limit coming home to the U.S. and he's zinging in. She said she didn't want to ride with him anymore. That was just
This is such good lore.
We have all these crazy stories of
that's
ancestors.
just
People
Here
in our
I am
family.
running a podcast.
okay. Back to Aunt Lou or Aunt Dort. Sorry,
Wrong on.
back to Aunt Dort. She was a secretary, and in the federal government, basically.
This is Albin's sister.
Yeah, Albin's sister.
The
She
one
was,
that's a genius.
in order to move up, you got to move. So she worked at one time or another. She was in San Francisco, Washington D.C., Denver. Anyway, she ended her career in Omaha, and then when she turned 55 and was able to retire, then she retired and moved back home. So back to the farm. For all the things that she'd seen.
And all three
She
of them
went-
lived together, didn't they?
Yeah.
Albin, Ralph.
Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
Albin and Ralph for a while were alone, and that's where your grandma Schieffer picked up. She worked
Oh, I believe
hard.
it. I believe it.
She was keeping house,
Taking care of these men.
taking care of
really?
all these men. Yes.
Keeping house for 2 houses.
Yeah, she was.
wow.
She was amazing. She still is amazing, really. I mean,
Oh, God, yeah. Woman does not sit down.
We love our grandma.
Well, then you have there was another place on where Brad and Sheila lived now. There was a different house that you lived in, like when you.
that's where I grew up. Yeah,
You were a little kid.
that was a house that had been moved in there, and when they first moved it in there, all there was a dirt basement under about half the house. That's kind of what this house had. There was just a third of a basement under here, under the kitchen here. But that was all there was, and actually, Grandpa Schieffer's uncle owned it when they first moved on there.
Oh.
Where was the house moved from?
I don't know. That was I had thought they had told me at one time it was a granary, but Grandma said no. That was a house somewhere else, but it had been moved on there just so they had a place to live.
Huh.
I mean, her Grandpa Schieffer's uncle John owned it. So
This is great.
That's one of those. Again, there's so many things that they did so much stuff, and it was like I was told that Grandma Schieffer disassembled that house and used it as firewood.
she did.
Yeah.
The old house
I
after
remember-
they had built the
I
new
remember.
house.
What?
Yeah,
I don't think I
house-
was ever told this. Or maybe I forgot.
Like there's stuff like that, and here I am running a podcast. There's
Oh
so-
yeah, that was part of.
It's crazy.
I don't know, but
Grandma
also-
Schieffer can't sit down. She can't. She's got to be busy all the time.
But
Yeah.
also, this has been their whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
All I've been thinking about is podcast people might find this
Like, all
crazy,
that-
but I'm having great time learning about family.
Like all that
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
with Dan of him traveling to a bunch of countries and working on all
Yeah,
this
it's not
stuff.
like he did
that
that
was
in 18 years.
no. It's not like it's not like he was your age and had already been to Saudi Arabia,
No,
Germany.
God, no.
No, that was all.
God,
But like
no,
the
it was
thing,
his
like
whole
they
life.
had to do that sort of stuff, and then here we are
Making
asking
a
Siri
podcast.
Yeah.
when Grover Cleveland was president. And Siri lies to us, but we still have the ability to.
She does the best she can.
Siri does the best
No,
she
she
can.
does not.
Siri can do better.
She's not real.
She didn't give me the exact answer for what I was looking for. I was looking for who was president in 1892, not who was president, who became president, who was elected president.
Well, they were still president.
Yeah.
Someone was president
Benjamin
a
Harrison
month
was still
or so.
president, so he lied. to me.
President and president-elect.
Good job.
Yeah, there you go. Grover
Yeah,
Cleveland
that-
was
I wasn't
second time
asking about
president-elect.
president-elect.
What an emeritus professor was. Very fun.
Emeritus professor?
Yes. It's someone who was a professor for a really long time, and now they have an office on campus, but they just hang out.
Is that like how Pope Benedict? He went to Pope
Pope
Emeritus.
Emeritus. Yep.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't know
It's
that
like
that
you're
name
not
had
you're not
something.
holding the office anymore, but you still
You're
have to
still
hang
there.
around.
Yeah. You still get all the benefits.
Yeah.
Does the Pope have many health benefits?
Money.
They old.
Health benefits?
Do they make a
he's
lot of?
Yeah, they're covered by health insurance.
They're probably covered by the papal.
Pope insurance.
the,
Probably
the
self-insured.
papal Pope insurance.
Jesus insurance.
Can I get some
Jesus
Pope insurance?
Can I get some Pope insurance?
No,
That must be crazy.
You could be Pope yet.
I could be Pope.
Yeah.
you can't.
You
I
could be
can't
Pope.
Pope.
Another
I
fa-
can't.
another
I wrote
family
a-
story.
I wrote a whole
Another
poem
family
about
story.
Another
that.
family story.
No, huh?
Sorry,
About
I
the
thought,
Pope?
I thought you were
I
just
was
going to say
president.
that.
I was president of the parish council in Constance at St. Joseph's.
Oh, yeah?
At the same time, Uncle Brad was president of the parish council at St. Rose,
Oh, really?
and I think he missed it by a year or so. But Uncle Marlon was president of the parish council at St. John the Baptist in Fordyce, and Grandpa Schieffer made the comment that, man, if he had all been as parish council president at that same time, he'd have been run for pope. And I mentioned that to the priest at the time, Father Joseph Brodeau, who baptized who? You?
Me.
Okay. And Father Joseph said, yeah, he could be pope. I said, what are you talking about?
You don't have to be a priest.
You can be
You
pope.
don't. You are made a priest if you get elected pope and are not a priest. You get made a priest just like that.
But nowadays, you have to be a cardinal, kind of.
No, I think it's still. But anyway,
Well,
he said, and
technically,
you got to be
but-
male and a practicing Catholic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. I could never be pope.
Well-
no, what I thought you were going to say is you were
I'd say
going to
look at the bright side. You don't have to be.
you were going
Grandpa
to
could be
have a
pope.
Schieffer coup
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
parishes.
In the fine print, to be pope, you don't technically have to be a priest.
But they'd
But
like it
but
if you
the
were.
way that
Once
they
you- once
elect
you be-
people, they
yeah.
elect out of the cardinals.
It's like saying to
you
be
know?
a politician, you don't have to be rich, but it really helps.
it really does. Yeah, it's one of those things. I thought you were gonna say, yeah, more family stories, and I thought you were saying like,
Ralph
oh yeah,
was
there's all this
actually the
stuff.
Pope.
Yeah, Jack
no.
became the
Oh,
pope.
yeah. If anybody could have pulled it off, he would have. Yeah. Uncle Ralph. Oh man.
Do we have
I
a Ralph
haven't-
story?
I
We had
haven't
an
heard a
Albin,
lot
we
of-
had a Dort, we had a Dan.
I feel like we should
Uncle
explain
Ralph
the
used to tell us that. Okay,
genealogy here.
have you guys ever watched Hee Haw?
Yeah,
Yes,
you had us
we
watch
watched
You had
it
us
as
watch it.
kids.
Okay.
You were
Hee-haw.
my dad.
Uncle Ralph
Vine or my
had us
father.
convinced. Uncle Ralph had us convinced that he was an actor on Hee Haw.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and he said, you know that at the time it was Indian, but a Native American. He said, you know that Indian that used to poke his head around the outhouse. Everybody, what are you talking about? He convinced us about that he was on Hee Haw. There was never an Indian on an outhouse. He just convinced us of
So
that.
what you're saying
just
is
made it up.
Uncle Ralph was a gaslighter.
I used to convince people that my name was William.
I remember that.
That works?
Yep. You really tried.
That's not that far off, though.
No, that's not. Yeah,
No,
I should
like
start
your
convincing people my name
great-grandpa
is
William.
Ralph. Yeah, exactly.
Will,
That's what I would use.
Bill,
That's
Jack.
how I tell. That's how
Will,
I tell
Bill,
how many
Jack.
times my name has been sold into, for
You
marketing
mean for
marketing
Duane
purposes.
Schieffer?
yeah?
Yeah, I send it in under Ralph Schieffer.
Oh really?
Yeah, and pretty soon you get stuff in the mail for Ralph Schieffer. It's like, I know where that came from. So
That's fun.
The weird phone calls in and they're like, "Hey, is there a Duane Schieffer here?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "No,
Duane.
there is not."
Your boy Duane.
spell it backwards. It's Inayud.
Did you guys ever do that? You guys
Yeah,
ever go
we've
through
had these discussions before.
Rafacious.
Rapacious.
Inayud
Cash.
Rafacious.
And your first name?
Inayud Rafacious.
I don't really know how you'd want to say my first name.
That's
Backwards.
Fair. That's very fair.
Nike.
Nike.
Neek.
Mine's Yellrack.
Yellow rack.
Now that sounds Yellow
a
Rack
good one.
Rafacious.
Rafacious Yellrack.
Rafacious
Yep,
Yellrack.
Rafacious
Yeah,
Yellrack.
go backwards. Yeah.
Yellrack.
I apologize. I apologize
That
to the
sounds
listeners.
like-
I think we just had a small stroke.
That sounds like an insult to Hicks.
Take her to the ER.
Sounds
Yellrack.
like it sounds like if I'm
You're
your
Cadge.
I am Cadge.
sounds like if I'm your country mother and I'm yelling at you for dinner like Yellrack. I'll scoot this away. Get in your Yellrack.
Dang a dang dang dang.
See, I find that funny, but we do have whenever
It's time for dinner.
If I were you, I would pull it back.
I don't feel so good. Yellow Rack.
that's kind of laughter. That's kind of laughter we were looking for before.
That was good. That was good.
No, I was just gonna make a comment how we actually do have a dinner bell that we've used.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Eat time for dinner.
I feel sick. Yellrack.
I wonder, Jack, you should
That's so good.
Jack, you should clip that and play it backwards and see what it sounds.
It's probably just like Karley.
And then it says,
Karley. It says. That's all it is.
cat throwing up sounds on the podcast.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Sounds like you want another meal. Yeah.
Can't breathe.
Yuck,
Yuck, yuck, yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yeah, I
yuck,
did.
yuck.
He's over there by the pet food. And there he comes.
What are you saying?
Okay, that's another story.
That's it. Eric, come, I tell you, come around.
No, we're slowly getting from Southern to
I
Trump.
love the character.
That was.
Very good.
That was okay. Back to college.
Okay, all right.
Back to college.
All right.
Wait, are we at Northeast or Wayne
We're at
State?
Northeast.
Okay.
We're at Northeast, and
No, you got to stay in this character.
this guy
This guy.
tried to
Yes.
impress some females. I guess you would say that.
Some ladies.
And they had said that
Such an
they really
impressive
Some
accent.
precious flowers.
precious flower. They had said that they really liked it. There was a bird, it was a parakeet, a parrot, whatever, at this garden
pigeon?
center. It was a garden. It was for sale at the garden center. These girls,
Slight away.
these girls had said how much they just thought that was the prettiest bird.
Prettiest
And,
bird.
Yeah, this
Prettiest
guy was trying to impress him, and he went breaking and entering, and he stole the bird.
This actually.
What?
This actually happened,
One
yeah.
of your friends?
No, he wasn't a friend of mine.
Guy
But
you knew.
Was
But
this
he
like
ended
a
up doing
story?
time for this because
Really?
he didn't want to. He didn't want to.
Prized bird.
He didn't want to get caught with the bird. He didn't want to because the girls went, "Are you nuts? What did you do that for?" He didn't want. Yeah,
They were not
He killed the
flattered.
bird. He killed the bird. Yeah.
And that's why the blue macaws from Rio
Are
extinct.
endangered.
They're actually extinct now.
No.
Fun fact, I think.
So anyway, yeah, that's when we.
Siri's gonna fail us again.
Here we are at the Earl May Garden Center. Pardon me, sir. Did you see what happened? Yeah, I did. He was over there by the pet food, and there he come. We said, "Look out, Polly!" It was too late. He already got a free shot.
Look out, Polly.
Look out.
Well, that's Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens.
You gotta look at the streak, the song, the streak.
Oh, this sounds
that
familiar.
Ray Stevens
The
dude, huh?
species went extinct in the wild, but they were bred in captivity. They
Oh.
released 52 in 2020.
It's
Apparently we
just
switched-
like the movie.
Like the movie.
Apparently, we
Rio.
switched topics.
No, I just went back.
No, we're talking about. You ever seen
Na,
Rio?
na, na, na,
No.
na,
Oh, Rio's about two
Rio.
endangered birds.
La, 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 la.
There's
It's
a fly
got
in my
great
hair.
music. Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars is
second
in the
one.
second one.
Yeah,
okay.
there's a couple movies. I think it was. Blue,
Oh.
was that Blue Sky? Was that DreamWorks?
Do you ever hear Larry Whitney?
Who's
No,
Larry
Dan
Whitney?
Whitney. Dan Whitney.
Who's Dan Whitney?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh,
yes.
Dan Whitney's from Pawnee City, Nebraska.
Yeah, he's from
Yeah.
Pawnee
yeah.
City.
Yeah. I've
He
seen
can turn it on, shut it off.
Oh,
just like
yeah.
that.
I've seen videos
Tomater.
of him being at
Tomater, yeah.
Nebraska games and such.
Oh, he's a
Because of
yeah.
course.
He's a big Nebraska.
He
Because
lives,
he lives in
south
Lincoln.
of Lincoln. Yeah.
Does he
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's well, as far as I know.
Instance number 278, Dad mentioning some random name.
Well, Larry the Cable Guy.
But yeah, you
not
can switch
some
that
random
accent
name.
on and
Yeah,
off.
real.
Oh yeah.
It's
He's Tomater.
Tomater.
That was bad.
That was
Yeah,
beautiful.
Like mater, like tomater without the tuh.
was that in Cars?
Did
That
you
was in
know?
Cars, yeah.
Did you know that
Cars
they had
What other
written?
accents can we do?
Several
God.
accents. What was your thing about?
They had written the Cars movie.
Yeah.
And then
They had him audition.
They
Well, not audition, but
they asked
they asked
Larry
him to
the
do
Cable
role.
Guy to come and audition for it. Like he didn't audition for it. They asked him,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Oh, that sounds awesome."
He
You know,
read the first line and they saw.
They
like,
loved it. They loved it.
They
And
saw
then he,
John Lasseter like cackling in the booth.
and then he was like, "You know, whatever happened to that Cars movie? You know,
Like
it
four-
sounded
like
like it was
several
going to be
months
really
later.
good. I never heard back from them." And then it said that to his manager, and his manager said, "No, they're rewriting it. They're rewriting it to put in more tomater because they loved it so much. They
Oh,
loved
wow.
what you did with it
That's
so
cool.
much."
Cool.
yeah.
So,
I've heard he's a heck of a nice guy.
oh
That's what
yeah,
I've heard too.
from Nebraska. You gotta
Nebraska. Everyone's
It's a
nice
rule.
from Nebraska.
Nebraska
except for
nice.
If you're
Jojo
not a nice
Siwa.
person, you
be.
got
It's
to
not
move.
for everyone though.
Everyone's talking.
not
My
for
brain
everyone.
hurts.
Everybody from Nebraska is nice except for Jojo Siwa, and that's about it.
Did you know I have a tie to her?
Don't ask
I have an
me.
indirect tie.
I knew you had an indirect tie to Jojo Siwa.
You do not want to
Dad doesn't
know
know who
that
Jojo Siwa is, and he doesn't really need to.
How flippin' old am I? I don't know.
No,
You
you
don't
don't.
worry
You
about
don't need. Don't.
Okay,
You have.
good.
There's no
We'll leave it
need
that
or
way.
no want.
So
to-
what accents can we do, Dad?
Scottish.
Dad's better
Scottish.
at
I'll go
them.
Scottish.
I can't do.
Scottish.
I can't.
That's
do
that old
much.
SNL with Mike Myers.
Like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Welcome to the old thing Scottish. If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's crap.
Yep.
I remember that from our childhood.
And you got to watch out between Scottish and Irish.
Can you do an Australian?
Scottish?
I'm
No, you
really
can't,
bad
no.
at. No, I
You
can't.
just have to do
Australian.
in Southern.
No, I
voice.
can't.
Australian, mate.
Australian.
I'm really.
I've been
Really. I don't even
I
know.
think I'd
First
have
of
to be
all,
immersed in it. I think I'd have to go visit
do a
Australia.
little bit of
Yeah.
That's a
Australian.
long plane ride.
Australian.
My God.
And of course, the British is easy.
British real.
But there's so
real
many
quick.
different
We picked that up
ones
when growing up.
Cockney.
A Cockney British.
Yeah, that was Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins.
Yes.
I love
And
this.
from what I understand, he did such a terrible job at it. People,
Oh, yeah.
Really?
they
he
hated
did.
it. They hated that movie. They wouldn't go see it because it was such a bad accent.
Really?
Shut up.
I mean, it was world famous.
And then it became a classic.
I love doing Little English Boy. That's my
Yeah.
Papa, Father.
Well, you know, my name is Simon. And the things I draw come true.
Are you going to the mines today? I'm going to the mines today. I brought my teddy. I brought my pickaxe, so you got me for my birthday. Thank you for this pickaxe, sir.
I'm
I'm going to work alongside you. Very much obliged.
Where do we get these?
Sir. Thank you,
See, this
sir.
is the stuff that you're worried about rubbing off on your kids. It worked.
Sorry, Mom.
Thank you, sir. I found some extra coal. Hopefully I'll get a bonus. Hello, sir. You have any spare change so I could buy a newspaper? I need a newspaper. I'll sell it tenfold.
It's just a 10-minute cut of mini podcasts of just Cockney children.
Yeah, just little kids.
That's what you have to do. Every time you record one, you have to talk. All right, let's hear your British accent then.
Welcome to the Crofton Warrior Podcast. I take newspapers out of the trash can and I sew them.
Sew them together for pants.
I sew them
For trousers.
pencils. They
Sew
need
them
me.
together for trousers.
They need me in the shop. They bring me in the shop because I have my tiny hands. I can reach in between the. I can reach in between the crevices.
That was in Schindler's List. That was in Schindler's List. Oh, I need those people to put their fingers through the shell casings and polish them.
Or the shell casings.
They didn't speak like that, though.
I love doing my job. I get paid money. I get paid 5 shillings a day. 5 pence. 5 pence a week. It's just pocket change. It's pocket change. I treat myself to a candy bar on Fridays.
A Willy Wonka bar.
Exactly. I bought myself a jump rope the other day. Because I love jumping. I love to jump. I just love to jump. But I looked silly doing it without the rope. Some days I go outside, I grab 2 rocks. I love playing with rocks. I hit Billy over the head with some rocks the other day. He didn't get up. He's still there.
Had to call the ambulance. The
I don't know
Kronkenwagen.
what to do.
We had to call the Kronkenwagen.
The Kronkenwagen.
They call the doctor. Call the doctor. The doctor said you conked him right in the head. He said you conked him right in the head, but he does not have polio. There's good news and bad news. He said from good news. He has no polio. The doctor said to me, "There's good news and bad news."
The little kid doing an impression.
The doctor said to me, "You see, there's good news. There's bad news. There's good news.
Somewhere along the line, this is getting
Real
offensive,
bad. The
isn't
good
it?
news is
To whom?
the good news is he doesn't have polio.
22.
The old Victorian children.
The bad
get the
news
Christmas
is
goose.
he's dead. Bad news, he's dead. And I said, "Oh,
I can do a borderline
And then you've got-
offensive French.
You've got to.
I would love to hear a borderline.
You've got to do your imitation of Monty Python. You got to go to Monty,
Monty
Python.
Python, yeah.
Hey, shrubbery.
Yes.
Nice looking. Not very
Sacre
expensive.
bleu.
He's dead.
Sacre bleu.
My French is a very... is.
Yes.
Oh,
I took
how
a
you
French
say?
class once.
You're French.
You took a French class?
Online.
I
That's
did
exactly what it was. It just
Bring
said.
the today other day.
I know karate, judo, and at least 6 other Japanese words.
Impressive.
Tell
I
us
was
that
just-
other joke now.
I can,
I was just thinking about how with French you just say all the vowels and just go.
yeah.
croissant."
I like Southern's real easy. You can
just
handle
get that
with Southern.
They
Give
tell
me
me
Southern.
that Aunt Cheryl lived in Edgewood, Texas.
Edgewood?
That was like an hour east of Dallas, and they didn't have any Southern accent
Really?
there. And she said, "You get into Dallas, and they got it all. They got that extra.
They got it all.
They got the sparkles on
And
their
then you
boots.
go down to Georgia.
They got the sparkles in their eyes.
Georgia's got
Georgia's
real
got that,
deep.
yeah.
It's
Georgia's got
real
that real
slutty.
deep in there.
Do they have it in Florida though? No.
No.
Like Miami's
you
got
have
their
to,
different, you know?
I was watching a deal on,
Cubano.
So there's more of a Hispanic population there.
100%, yes.
Cubano.
Ubano.
but I was watching a deal on TV one time. Anyway, the guy was saying he got it. He
So
works
Marcelo
in
Hernandez.
he works
says it.
in Hollywood. He works in Hollywood, and I don't remember what movie it was. They had this actor, and they said, "You need to teach him how to speak Southern with a Southern drawl." And they said, "Okay, what part of South are you talking
Yeah.
about?" Because there's so many dialects, you know. And it all comes back. I think like the Carolinas. I think that's more Scottish.
Maybe. I just like
I'd have
saying what instead
know.
of that. That's the dog which stole my car. I like the Nick Kroll accent of the old men, of like oh hello, like oh yes the dialogue.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
incredibly over exaggerated.
The
Jewish men. Ah yes, that darg. Show me the darg.
If you say the Jewish, you only gotta get the smoky voice there. Smoky voice, man.
Or just Donald. If you
Oh,
Give us
here
a
we go.
Donald.
Give us a good Donald.
Give us a Donald.
Give us a Donald. Yep.
Just hands.
For our listener, he's moving his
I'm moving
hands
my
in an
hands.
inward and outward motion.
As if
But
I
not
were,
clapping.
Not
If I
clapping.
were doing an outwards.
His palms are facing you.
An outwards.
Palms are facing
accordion.
out, moving
Palms
hands
facing
in
out.
and outwards.
Finger out.
in a robotic way.
And
a
now
robotic
we
way.
wait and we.
What does Trump talk about?
Oh my
Give me
God.
what does he talk? I can barely do an impression.
You
of
can
Trump.
just do the growl.
What do you mean?
Well, yes. That's all he's got.
Pretend that you're
Well,
James Austin Johnson.
Pretend I'm James Austin Johnson.
doing the impression.
A lot of people say it was
There
the
you
line.
go.
A lot of people say that Vance was a bad pick, and in many ways he was. What was the? Yeah, that was the line. There's a lot of
Talk about the VP debate.
the VP debate. VPs love the VPs. Big on Veep love. What? Wait, what show was that? What
Veep?
show was
Big
it?
on the letters.
Veep? Was it
V
Veep, the
and
show?
P. Yeah, there is a show called Veep.
Was it Veep? I'm thinking of Julia Louis-Dreyfus. You know?
Yes.
Big on
Yeah,
the-
Veep.
Big
Love Veep.
Big on the letters that are in
Big
the
on letters. VP.
the
love-
second half of the alphabet.
I love my VPNs. NordVPN. Sponsored today by Honey.
We had a conversation with this.
Love it all.
It was just Jack doing Trump and Quinn doing Kamala.
It's so
and
funny.
I,
Just
I
talking.
can't do it.
I think
Trump
I was
is such a
melting
funny-
inside.
He's such a funny character to do. I need to work on my Trump for sure.
Yeah, you do.
I just need
Yeah.
to, because a lot of the time he's just like screaming, and I don't know. Because he's just like, hey, eating the dogs. I don't know how to do it
I like
without all
say,
the growling. I need to
say
get
the guy's name that you know I like when you say in that.
Oh.
exit.
You're talking.
He knows it.
Vivek. Yes.
It's Vivek.
Vivek. Ramaswamy.
I love it when he does that.
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy.
That's pretty good.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Love Vivek. I really don't like him, but I've always said Vivek. Vivek, he comes to me and I say Vivek. He just has a cadence to him, you know? Vivek, every time Vivek comes to me, he says, Trump, I need advice. Trump, I need advice. And I say, Vivek, drop out of the race, and he did.
He took my advice.
He took my advice. He dropped out. He didn't have a chance.
Ramaswamy. What a name. We're not going to go with.
What a growl.
What's the Nikki Haley? Nikki.
Yeah. I love that one too.
Nikki Haley didn't stop the protesters on January 6th. She didn't. She was there, Speaker of the House.
What?
Didn't Trump say something like that? He confused Nikki Haley for Nancy Pelosi.
Probably.
Nancy.
I think he,
Okay. Don't get that going.
Nancy
there.
Pelosi looks just like my wife, but older,
And less attractive.
severely less plastic, and
We have a tree named after her at the Crofton
Nancy?
Lakeview Golf Course.
really.
Yes.
Is it the one that everybody hits?
It's
Sorry, cut that out.
it's old. It's old. It,
Love me
it
some
leans
golf.
left and it,
Have you seen Trump's golf swing?
Is it bad?
Well, it's not the worst I've ever seen.
He's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
It looks crazy.
I'd hope so with all the time he spends at a golf
This
course.
is my impression of Trump's golf swing. He goes.
Follow through.
That's how he swings. He has so much follow through.
Mind you, you don't golf with a crowd.
I do not golf with a crap, but I know what a golf swing looks
Yeah.
like. I've seen
And
Tiger.
I ain't got it.
I've seen Scotty.
You've seen
Scheffler.
Grant?
I've seen Grant Schieffer.
Grant
you know?
has seen many a
The
golf
greats.
swing.
And Trump full just and
He has no
he's
he has no
good.
backswing. He has no backswing.
He has no backswing, but he's good at it.
I've got a high school classmate that golfs like that. No
Really?
backswing, but straight as an arrow.
Make a movie about him.
He should run for president.
There is one coming out.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Happy Gilmore 2, Trump's The
Electric
Apprentice.
Boogaloo.
Happy Gilmore 2, The Apprentice.
I'd watch it.
Love golf.
Love the golf.
Love the golf. Big fan of the golf.
I was wondering where you get that from, and I guess it's him.
That's
Yeah.
the first time I've ever done it.
Nah.
See? I can't do
Old
it.
man.
Can't do it.
He just opens his throat a lot.
I'd really have to practice.
I really need to get his like.
Joyzy, that's one of the
Hey, we're
accents
talking
we do.
about the
Jersey.
dogs.
Joyce.
They always say very enunciative in the front of his
Dwayne
mouth.
would like to do a Jersey impression.
You can do your New Jersey, but it's never better than New York.
Joyzy.
No
with a-
better than
with a Boyd's
Pennsylvania. I
choip.
love Pennsylvania.
Joyzy
Need
is when
those
the Boyd's
electoral-
choip and the garbage man picks up the garbage at
I just think
4
of-
o'clock in the morning.
I just think of Looney Tunes.
Huh?
I just think of Looney Tunes. Like Mel Blanc would just do like
Because Mel Block could do. I think they.
Man of
I think the
Thousand
number
Voices.
was 1,500.
Yeah.
Different voices.
Wow.
He did
Pure
like
talent.
512 for Looney Tunes or something like that. Like
That's
some
a
crazy.
lot.
I was
What's up,
on
Doc?
a research
Doc?
kick of Mel Blanc.
Let me look.
Are we surprised?
No.
And then after he died, I think his son took over, but his son could only do like half as many.
Yeah.
But
you're
half
right.
is still a lot.
half
Yeah,
is still, a, lot.
Oh yeah, we were
No
talking.
Blanc voice.
We were talking about Jim Henson before.
Coyote,
Jim Henson.
Woody Woodpecker, Bunny Rebel, Mr. Spacely, Speed Buggy.
You say
Captain
Joe
Cat,
Henson?
Mr. Spacely?
I said Jim.
didn't-
Oh,
Bugs
Jim
Bunny,
Henson,
Daffy
sorry.
Duck, Tweety, Sylvester the Cat, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn, Leghorn, the Tasmanian Devil.
I said.
Elmer Fudd.
I was just going to pick up on
Sick.
that. Yeah.
Cute little bunny rabbit.
Good
Cute
little
bunny
bunny.
rabbit.
I still say.
make him George.
I will pick him.
hug him and squeeze him.
I will hug
kiss
him and squeeze him.
And Porky
I will-
Pig and Elmer
I will
Fudd.
stroke his feathers and pet his bill. Wait a minute.
Well, there was that. You know the story
It's
of
like
when
every character.
he got in like a car accident and was in a coma.
Yeah.
You ever hear
Yeah.
about that?
You've heard that story?
I
Yeah.
don't think I've heard that.
But
He
he,
was
We
in a
heard that
coma.
story. Your mom and I heard that story on NPR with I forget the show that was on, and they were talking about that Mel Blanc would travel around on like Saturday mornings, especially in L.A. He would go to the different recording studios and do, ads for different people.
The
Oh,
voices.
Or
yeah.
ads for different companies, and got in an auto accident and was in a coma, and tried everything
They
to get him out of the
couldn't reach
coma.
him at all, and then they asked him. They were just like,
It was
Bugs,
a,
are you
it
in
was a
there?
doctor on a weekend.
"Yeah,
It was like
I-
a resident doctor.
Yeah.
A resident, yeah. Hey, Bugs, you in there?
oh, doing just fine, doc." You know,
No, he said, "What's up, Doc?"
something like that. Yeah, and then they'd be like, "Porky, you in there?" And he'd be like, and
he's
then
incredible.
he
Yeah, it was
survived.
Hey, Doc.
I believe you.
Bugs, you in there? Yeah. What's up, Doc?
Yeah,
Dang.
Just
Magic.
a fascinating story. I thought it was.
so cool. The human mind. I tell you what,
We don't know nothing about it.
we know a little bit.
What else we
know-
got to cover?
I don't know.
We've been here for a while.
Cheetos and
Hour and 20 minutes.
Cheetos and
Puffer-
cheesy nougats.
Puff or crunchy,
It depends.
like Cheetos. What about those Halloween Cheetos that are white
Doctor.
cheddar in the form of like a paw and a
The
bat,
captain.
You know.
I don't mind the white cheddar ones.
Really?
If I eat crunchy Cheetos for too long, I start to notice how they taste like corn.
Mm-hmm. You know what I
Because they're made
realized?
out
I
of
start to notice what they taste
White
like.
cheddar popcorn.
Fire!
Good breakfast.
Oh, honey.
It works as a good breakfast. I
You
just had
really
a.
haven't.
Well, I just had.
You
a
haven't
handful.
lived until you had cold pizza for breakfast.
Boy, I've lived then.
Boy.
That was college again.
I assume.
Worked at Valentino's in Norfolk. I gained so damn much weight.
More dad lore.
More dad. I was just gonna say we're
Dad
getting so much
lore.
dad.
Because
lore.
that was it. I mean, you get up in the morning and it's like, I'm hungry. You got pizza in the refrigerator that was free. Hey.
We need a button, and then it needs to be like some sort of like sparkle noise.
Dad lore.
Dad
Yeah.
lore.
that.
Like dad lore.
I can add that in post.
There's so much more editing for you.
It's already a lot. It's already like 3
Might
hours
as
of me editing,
well.
at least.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll call it a draw.
Cholesterol.
Call it a day.
Oh, God,
Call it a day. I need to go home and fight off my polio. I've got black lung. Apples and pears. Fight off my own polio.
constant battle, isn't it?
It's a constant battle with black lung. I'm a chimney sweep nowadays. They shove me in there. Sweep from the inside. I'm having a concert. They really like me there. Oh, I struggle. I'm the scrappy age of 8 years old. The scrappy age of I'm already halfway through my life. My little sheep children. The way it's going. The way it's going. The way it's going, I'm about middle age, I'd say. I better get married. I better get married.
By the way, you know what I was thinking watching the performance today?
Oh, what were you thinking?
I was looking
Well,
off,
little
I was
children,
looking off
he's
to the
the
west
father.
side going, Crofton's got a better display board than Yankton does.
Thank you. I'm proud.
You
I
heard it
texted,
here
noticed
first,
that
folks.
too.
I texted Mrs. Baker while we were at the Mount Marty Lancers game. Nothing against Mount Marty, but I said we have a better video board than Mount
I
Marty.
haven't seen the video board at Crofton yet.
You haven't?
I
haven't been
like it.
home.
It's cool.
I'm proud of it
He's
because
cool.
I
that's
hope
my
so.
like passion
Have you
project.
guys-
Other than this,
Have you guys
You know,
started,
and the worst part of it is you're learning.
Yeah.
You're learning how to run it. At the same time, you need to be training somebody because you're leaving next year.
That's true.
You need to be
Well, the
training
thing
people
is,
on how to operate the thing.
Have you
This is
started
the
on
exact-
basketball stuff?
We have not started on
This
basketball
is it's
stuff yet.
the same
Time,
system
I
that they
think so.
use in the Bob or things like
Yeah.
that.
In
so.
Phil
Yeah.
Bob, I think it's the last
I'll have
home
it.
game.
So yeah, I mean, if you know how to run it, then you can.
You can do something with that.
You can run the ball
know what
I can run the bob.
into the ground.
Yeah, they
Run the bob into the. I can announce and
You can have more purpose in life than me.
Jesus Christ. Like
He
that.
had his time and place. Oh, I had my time. I had my time and that's time for 17 years of it.
Who's 17?
18.
He's 18
This
now.
child.
I'm 18.
I know.
I'm an adult.
No, you're not. Not
And
Nebraska.
not Nebraska.
He's
But
18.
I'm
Nebraska, you
I'll,
gotta
Mickey
be
Door.
19 to sign a contract.
I'm 22.
really 19 to sign a contract?
I'm unfortunately 20.
As of
Filming.
what day is it?
The 12th. Time.
3 weeks,
3 weeks ago.
ago.
Setting a date on this thing.
Yeah, for all who don't know, Dad's a banker. Through all this stupid conversation.
Yeah, we should have done like down home introductions.
Intros, yeah.
We were talking about insurance before this. And then
Which scares the heck out of you.
And then
Dinner
life
table.
insurance and
life insurance, health insurance, eye and dental
Auto
insurance,
insurance.
auto insurance.
why are eye and dental included
Eyeball
under
insurance.
They're not part of your body.
Teeth
Sometimes they are,
insurance.
sometimes they aren't.
health? That's dumb.
Where I work, it's,
Shoulder
it's a separate
insurance.
policy.
And we're back.
Shoulder
Hair
insurance.
insurance.
No.
You can get it.
You can get hair insurance?
You can get hair insurance.
Calf
like if you-
insurance.
It
Let's
just
just
depends.
lit on
It just
fire?
depends on how much you want to pay for a premium.
I guess
Quinn,
that
don't
makes
get
sense.
hair insurance. You cut it off all
My
the time.
premium
As the
is-
old saying
would never.
goes,
$10 a
everything's
month.
for sale. Just depends on what you want to pay.
Wow.
We're leaving that in there.
My hair premium is $20 a month because I get it cut.
Who was it?
That's like
Had
every 2
it
months.
was an actress had insurance
myself.
on her legs.
Really?
I want to say Angie Dickinson.
Can you get insurance on anything? Technically?
You want to pay the premium? Yeah, I think you can.
Wow.
You gonna
There's-
pay it? Yeah.
This is a capitalistic society, you know.
That's true.
As long as there's money to be made.
There's money to spend.
Are you looking
telling
up? Are you looking up Angie Dickinson, or are you looking up?
Who had insurance on their legs?
Yeah, or was it Lana Turner?
Who's
Maybe
that one
I don't-
lady?
Audrey
It's
Hepburn?
a Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh,
That lady.
Oh, but also Tina Turner.
Tina Turner. Oh yeah, I can
Tina
see
Turner.
that. I can see that.
Oh, David Beckham.
David Beckham has insurance on his legs?
Well, he's a soccer player.
Yeah.
And he's a Calvin Klein model, apparently.
Yeah.
And Mariah Carey.
Oh,
Wow.
they
you
all
know,
have
you
insurance
know
on
who
their
Tina
legs.
Turner was.
I do know who Tina Turner
Yeah,
was.
Oh, yeah, we're not crazy.
Sure do.
Didn't Tina Turner die?
yeah, she's died. She's
Died
died
recently?
She is dead.
She is died.
She has
She has
deadness.
She is dead.
Yeah.
We just said that so many different ways.
Those are some legs. Wow.
And that's being cut.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Tina Turner.
Legs.
I don't even know how tall was she.
Oh yeah, she died really recently.
Yeah, that's
May
what I'm
of
saying.
23.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't she just die?
How old was she? Or how tall was she?
How tall was
How
Tina
tall?
Turner?
Calling 5'11".
Height.
I'm calling.
5'4".
Dang.
What? You just.
That's just barely beating mom.
You're thinking
Yeah,
of a different
that's my
woman.
height.
No.
Maybe she had a short torso
I thought Dad
She had
liked
big
women
hair.
who were 5'2".
and big hair.
Yeah.
That's true.
That would do it.
Yeah.
Tina Turner,
Dad, what do you think about the fashion trends of today?
age when died.
Well, they're the 90s, so what do you think about the 90s?
You got to
was
realize
83.
You got to realize I was concerned about fashion I think in 7th grade, and that ever since then.
Here's a story. A quick one.
Oh God.
We went to, Mom and Dad came down to Lincoln one time for a volleyball game, and Dad was wearing his bibs, and I think it was a red, really like cool retro looking crew neck that is literally from the 80s or 90s
yeah.
that he's had
still
since
have it.
then. And I was like,
That's fashion.
Dad, you kind of got a good fit on. I was telling him overalls are kind of in these days.
Yeah.
they're pretty
And?
in. And you've got a
these
got a
are-
retro shirt on. Like they're
These are
I
Dad's
should
like
get myself
actual
the young
bibs.
people would eat this up. And then we went to Panera and
eat this
saw
up.
a person wearing overalls. I was like, look, see, they're
Yep,
in.
there I am.
I should get some
And he was like,
cute little
You should get some
overalls.
bibs, man.
he said,
They are,
I don't
they are the
care.
most comfortable thing you can wear.
Really?
I'm not kidding you.
I love them.
oh, but Dad said,
I should get some.
I don't care. I've been dressing like this since.
You were
My
talking.
I mean, things
whole
come
life.
back. Look at music nowadays. We're just back in the 80s for most of it.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah. That's how we are. Listen to Sabrina Carpenter.
I love it.
Listen to Chapel. I love Chapel. There's a lot of 80s influences there.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Whole lot. Whole bunch.
Dead air. Oh, okay.
Speaking of which,
I'm sleepy.
you're sleepy?
I'm always sleepy.
SNL's in an hour.
Sweepy.
Sleepy.
In an hour. Wait, 10:30?
Yeah, it's at 10:30.
Because it starts at 11:30.
SNL
Stop
starts at
that.
10:30. Do you know how time works?
Do you for
That hurts.
yawning?
Yeah,
Yawning?
but- yeah, it's contagious, you know.
How does
What
that
hurts?
even work? How is yawning contagious?
Oh, yawn.
It
Science
just is.
It just is.
It just is.
Just like polio,
One of the great wonders of the world.
right?
Experiment with little ones,
Polio.
babies especially.
Give them polio.
No, when you
I have this new thing to try out for you.
Guess what, kid?
New thing just dropped.
no,
Polio.
but when
New
you
disease dropped.
meet a new child, a baby, then do
Preferably
things,
a baby.
do things odd, like stick out your tongue to them.
I love doing that.
And they're very intelligent. They will sponge that up. The next time you see them, they'll stick your tongue out at them. They will stick
Really?
their tongue out at you.
There's a couple of customers that'll come into bagels.
So
and
if
they'll-
I see a
that
little
are-
baby and I hit the whip,
Yeah.
I don't
that
think
baby's gonna be.
Well, I
like,
mean, you're
fly
gonna
as
you're gonna see once, and the next time you see them, you gotta
Yeah.
the next
Yeah,
time you see
repetition.
them,
keep hitting the
You
whip.
do
Are
it
you
again.
telling me you're Pavloving babies?
yeah,
yeah, Pavlov.
that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Duh.
We've
That's
got
incredible.
one of the gals on our fire department just had a little munchkin, and I've been training her. I've been training. her. Stick her tongue out, and she's doing it.
That's
She's
incredible.
doing it.
Taking
Yeah.
notes.
She's doing it.
Dad is Pavloving babies.
Dad, is
That
there
is so funny.
Update of the day.
is there anything
It's fun to do.
that is there anything that you're like, I want to do something new? Like, you know how people have dreams?
I thought you were gonna say bucket list.
Like bucket list things? Like do you ever think to yourself,
He wants to go to Germany.
what if
I
I
was just gonna say that.
do you ever think to yourself, what if I did a open mic?
I want to go to Constance, Switzerland,
Oh yeah. Like you wanna
just because.
What if
learn
I did
guitar or
stand
something?
up?
What if I
Just
did
because
stand
what
up?
Constance is. But
What if
most of my quote unquote dreams would be
Going somewhere,
involving
doing something?
traveling,
Really?
just
Get that
go.
man on a plane.
On the other hand, back to Uncle Albin. The thing I really really loved about Uncle Albin was he was happy.
Yeah.
I like to say that too.
He was happy. He was,
That's what I
that's good.
strive for.
I told him, Uncle Albin had some cash when he died. And before that, I had tried to convince him. I said, spend it. Spend it. You're going to give it to your heirs, whatever. Do they deserve it? That
Who
kind of
was
thing.
his heirs?
Him.
Us.
Oh yeah.
But I
Do
said,
we deserve
spend it. And
Yeah,
he said,
spend a little bit.
doing
It's your life.
what? Doing what? And I said, see the country. Take a bus tour. Go see different parts of the country. He said, I've seen this country. I said, really, when? When I was in the Army. I said, a few things have changed since the 1940s. He didn't care. He was happy where he was at. You know,
that's
so
what
I
was trying to
admired
be.
that about him. He was happy with
I
what
like
he
that
had.
too.
I still think we
he
should
wasn't
do-
chasing the Joneses. He wasn't trying to have the latest fashion.
I still think we should do a county tour of Nebraska like Quinn wants to do.
That would be fun.
Oh heck yeah!
I think
Heck
those
yes.
those guys a couple years ago that went around and visited every
All
little
93 counties.
Yeah,
no, they
that'd be
visited every little town.
Oh yeah.
Every single town in
Yeah.
Nebraska.
I remember
was
seeing.
like,
I remember seeing the
that'd
deal
be
in the
so
Crofton
cool.
Journal.
I
They were
would
in Constance.
love to do that
Yeah.
I want to
Just
do
go.
that.
I mean, some of it is like.
because I love
know.
zooming in on a map and then just following it. And
Yeah,
it's usually
finding
in
a tiny
Nebraska
town.
because
Bored.
I think you have my genes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Really?
I
I'm wearing sweatpants.
I follow along with it, and I'm like, oh, and this is over here. Now, how far am I from here? And blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And then I go.
Okay.
I'm on one map, and then I go to a different map, and I can look up. How far is blank from? Like, oh, that's only like 45
gonna
minutes.
jump- we're gonna jump over to this.
Now, where would if the people lived here? Where would they get their groceries at? You know, what's closest? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, very much.
love doing that.
And jumping that tomorrow is the parish supper at Idly Wild, St. Boniface Idly Wild in South Dakota. He's like,
Oh.
where the is that? You know,
Good sound effect.
That was one that Grandpa Schieffer went, oh, let's go up this gravel road and drive by this church. And I was like, what the heck is that doing out here?
What would be the best way to get around to all the Nebraska counties? Because I feel like
Driving.
I know no S word.
A boat.
A boat.
No, but I'm like, because you could do like
A boat or a boot?
I don't know if you would go
Walking.
like across the top and then go all the way back and then do, or
That's
if you
hard
would
to
do
say.
like a wow.
Probably a wow.
I don't know how to describe it.
Vertical or
I
horizontal.
don't know. They made a route.
Yeah,
You'd have to have a lot of time off from work.
Or you could do a
That
spiral.
was my one thing that I was thinking
Yeah.
about. I was like, if I wanna do
That's
that.
no
I
fun.
mean,
because we're at the Northeast.
but I want
Quarter.
But I know that they got sponsors and stuff. And when people they were going,
Yeah.
and whenever they stopped in
Lot
a
of
certain
gas.
place, people were like, "Here's a meal. Here's a place to stay. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah.
Here's maybe like
Yeah.
$50 for
Nice
gas for your next
Incidentals.
place. You know, because that's how Nebraskans
for
are.
corn nuts.
Specifically corn.
Buy yourself something
Seriously.
nice, sweetie. Going
Seriously,
nuts.
it's not for everyone.
Corn nuts.
But it's for us.
But I want to do
not.
that because I think it'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Just go touring. Yeah. Do it before you're married. Holy buckets. Then you got an extra person to drag along.
Or do it with your wife.
Well,
Or
if you
husband.
can make that work.
Yeah.
That's why they need to have a seasonal job.
That's why they need to be weird.
Strange.
Yeah.
Strange and unusual.
Dad, are you happy?
Pretty much so, yeah. You know what?
Yay.
As I always say, I'm upright. I'm breathing.
I tell people at work that.
You know?
That's my,
Well, okay.
I'll tell customers that.
That's
They'll
my
say,
comeback to honor.
ask how they're
the
doing.
whole-
Someone said something one time that was like, "Well, I'm out of bed. I'm walking.
Yeah.
I'm walking around." I said, "My dad says that. He says upright and breathing or vertically
Vertical
ventilating."
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah, but that's well, do you remember, you probably don't remember this. You were having, as a teenager, you were having a woe is me moment.
Everybody
Oh,
has
yeah.
that.
And I said, let's look it up on the internet. How many people can't walk?
How many people can't get out of bed?
Yeah, that was, and it was anywhere between 6 and 10% of the population of the world can't walk. Whether that's because they are paraplegic, quadriplegic, too young, too old, overweight, whatever.
Arm crutches.
But between 6 and 10% of the people in the world can't walk. And it's a very unscientific,
Crutched people can walk.
poll.
Bad, relevant.
But I said, look at that. You kicked your feet out of bed and stood up this morning. That makes you better off than 10% of the people in the world.
Arguably, teenage Quinn was on a bunk bed, so she could not do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, I said that to a fellow knight of Columbus. And he said, he was talking about my attitude about, I'm upright and breathing, man. That's 2 in a row. You're always in such a good mood. How do you do that? And I told him that story. And Mr. Wortman said, and you didn't do a dang thing to deserve that, did you? I mean, being upright.
Wow.
Dang, that's true too.
Go, Mr. Wharton.
And I went, you're right.
Wow.
Good. So it's kind of the attitude that you take. I'm upright and breathing.
I do that a lot at work, where the long day or tough day or whatever, and some of my coworkers will be complaining, and I'm like, "It gonna be worse."
Yeah. Could be
I
a lot
know
worse.
it could be
That's what I say all
worse.
the time. People go, "Oh, this sucks," and I'm like, "Could be worse."
I know what worse feels like, so I know that this is
There you
better
go.
than that.
There you
So
go.
it's good. It's better than working with kids.
I don't know.
better than being slapped in the face.
Yeah, that
by
is-
a child
that
that
is.
I can't slap back.
So that's your mentality.
I think you would be happier if you could slap the parents.
Yeah.
It's like
Retribution.
that goes back to the when you're handed this child after they're born.
And
you're
we're
handed
back.
this child, and it's like, shouldn't I be attending a class for this? They send you out into the world with a new child.
And a cat's in the house.
Yeah, and it's a holy bucket. But there are some parents that need some education.
Did it go better the second time or the third?
Oh, mom,
Well,
your
they
mom
know
was
what they were
your
doing.
mom was a pro by that time.
Yeah.
Well, and she'd been teaching too.
Me, not
Yeah.
so much.
You
Yeah,
could
same.
change a diaper.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could cut your daughter's bangs really poorly before
your
your other
children's
daughter's
hair so
baptism.
often.
That was not that bad. That was not that bad.
I mean, I don't know.
The stories I've heard is
But
Ginger
what
laughing in the
mom
other room?
says, what mom says is that you were not allowed to touch my hair after that.
Do
Is
we
that
get
true,
corroboration,
mom?
Mom? She might be a
Dead air.
Nothing.
No, it just depends on your attitude.
about the hair.
Depends
Yeah.
on what you think is too short for bangs.
Everything
Cut the
depends on
thing.
you.
How much time did you spend sitting still?
That's true.
Fair.
Very little. You never noticed
Oh
it.
yeah,
Was that before my baptism?
yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about.
I don't care.
I was thinking about the
nobody
time.
would
when-
toddler.
And hair grows back, unless you're an old man.
I was just thinking about the time when we were at our
Yeah,
aunt and
enjoy it while
uncle's-
you got it, dude.
our aunt and uncle's wedding, and both me and Quinn got very sick.
Oh,
And we were
John.
supposed to be flower girls, and Quinn was like throwing up before she went down the aisle.
Sure was.
Oh, we threw you into a couple of pictures. You look miserable.
Yeah.
I did.
And you was a wee baby.
I was a wee lad.
A wee bit of a lad.
A wee bit of
Thank
a lad.
God for Grandma and Grandpa Schieffer. They came and got you guys. And you just kept eating.
Jesus,
You were
Carl.
eating, and then you threw up everywhere, and then you were hungry again. It was like,
So when
what are
she
you doing?
threw up because she just kept.
She's just eating.
Dang, that was a call out.
And it was like, I need
Quinn
to get
had
this.
an actual bug.
I don't think I've thrown up since 5th grade.
Really?
What?
That's cool.
I refuse.
There you go. That's good. Yeah.
Just don't.
I keep telling people.
Drink a little.
It's all
Hold
in your
on.
noggin.
Drink
Yeah.
Okay, number one, don't do
Drink
that.
the wrong stuff.
Number two, I keep
Or a
telling
lot of the
people
right stuff.
whenever people get sick, I go, here's what my sister would always say when she goes, well, why'd you do that? Stop getting sick. Tell your body not to be sick. And then the next day she got like really critical pneumonia.
What? I did that?
You did that.
Oops.
Oh, I did.
Whoopsie.
I don't remember telling not to be sick, but I did.
You
have
still do.
critical. I do that.
Stop
But
being
you had
sick,
like
you
awful
idiot.
pneumonia right after you told me that one time.
Mind,
That's funny.
mind over matter kind of thing.
Karma.
I do that today. I do that currently.
Karma.
Like, dang, I don't really feel good. Now, is that my brain telling me that I don't feel good, or is that me anxiously
My
being like,
actual body.
oh, I don't
You have to cut out all the burps that I've got.
Nah. I'll already be doing
Let
that.
them in there.
Yeah, I do that all the time. And then I just think about something else, and then I feel fine.
So, how big is the hard drive in that thing?
I've got an SD card in there.
Oh.
So I think that's got like 32 gigabytes on there. I got 12 hours of recording on it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dang.
We
You could
have
record
10
yourself
more hours.
sleeping.
10 more hours to
And
work
so
this
and
out.
like by the time I export it and I get it all edited, I delete it from the card so I could just cycle in and
That's
out.
cool.
That's awesome.
Hi, Mom.
Mom.
How's it going?
Why don't you come here and take my headset?
Would
She's
you like
going-
to podcast?
She's going bedtime.
Going
You still
bedtime.
don't tell him yet.
We just got denied. How dare.
Hey, sure, 9:48 it is.
9:48.
Yes.
Right. You got 8 minutes.
8 minutes until 9:56. Yes.
Yeah.
What's at 9:56?
You just got to be in bed by then.
Oh,
Turns into a pumpkin.
that's one of
It's
those.
bedtime at 9:56.
That was one that I saw a little TikTok video of.
Nice.
Instead of using a real pumpkin for your driveway lights and stuff like that, or your
Yeah, to our listeners,
You
Dad
take
is on
it.
TikTok.
Yeah.
you take a
Duane.
plastic pumpkin, just the little
Yeah.
plastic pumpkins that they sell at
Pumpkin.
Maynard's or wherever, and drill a hole through the bottom,
Yes.
and then you get the solar lights with the spike on the end. Poke them down through there, and the hat of the solar light goes over the top of the pumpkin,
Pumpkin.
and then
Okay.
then your pumpkin is lit.
Speaking of
It's
which,
a
lit.
pumpkin.
Which kinda cool.
They just light a fire.
I saw in Sweden.
Lit.
In Sweden, where they make snowballs, and they stack the snowballs in a pyramid, and then they put a little tea light in between there, and they put those along their driveway.
For Halloween?
No,
for Christmas.
For Christmas.
Because
Okay.
you lined the way for Santa.
For All Hallows Eve?
Svenska.
Speaking of which, if we need to put
Svenska.
up
What?
new Christmas lights, now would be the time to do it.
I think
Yeah,
we're
it would be.
good
We
with
still have
Christmas.
the red ones on a roll.
Yeah.
The rope lights. We still have those
On a
downstairs.
row.
On a
We
roll.
really should put those up because I've had them for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm home tomorrow.
Oh well, life goes on.
Yep.
Oh, well.
So what else we were talking about?
Jack's like, let's leave.
I don't know. I feel like it's time to round up the podcast.
I feel
You're
like
starting to love podcasting, aren't you?
Well, we were talking about such great things.
we're just chatting.
Exactly. Yeah.
memory.
That's what I liked about podcasting. Like when we did it last year, it's just like, oh, we just had a good time to sit down and chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Fast forward.
You can definitely split this one into two.
Oh, I probably won't. I'm not gonna split it into two if it's one interview. You know,
Yeah.
interview conversation.
That's cool.
You know, so see if I can
No,
figure
what
out.
I
how
It'll
to-
disrupt the flow,
I
bro.
was just thinking about Sweden. That was a good
yeah?
time. Yeah,
Constant.
that was a good. That was,
Sweden?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you went to Sweden.
I went to Sweden. Yeah.
Yes.
That was I only hit the southern tip.
In
One-
college.
One
very
tall
southern tip.
beer.
Huh?
That's the words you know.
And Styrstärk.
Yep.
There you go.
Big dog.
That's a big dog. And Styrstärk.
dog.
dog.
Jag vill ha en kall öl means I
I'm
would
in
I would like a
college.
cold beer.
To any of our Swedish listeners,
Yeah.
can you confirm?
To all our Swedish listeners,
Yeah,
thank
but
How
you.
has the
Probably.
language changed?
Davide,
since
Davide.
You know, I don't
the
know.
1990s?
Since I've been there, I guess they've got a bridge or maybe / a tunnel. I'm not sure.
To Terabithia.
Between
Bridge and or
Copenhagen,
tunnel.
and Sweden. And
To all our
Malmö.
Swedish listeners, dame there. That's thank you.
Huh?
That's thank you several times.
Tack.
What?
Tack så mycket.
That's not what I was told.
Crap.
That's thank you very much. In
Must be different.
thank you
Sweden.
so much in Swedish is tack så mycket.
I only know it from the song
Var
"This
ligger det
One's for the
Systembolaget?
Swedes" by Brian David Gilbert.
Var ligger det
This one's for
Systembolaget?
the Swedes.
Swedes!
You contribute
Thank
to
you.
about 2%
Oh.
of my views. This one's for the Swedes.
Sweet.
If you're not from Sweden,
Tack.
Tack.
What?
T-A-K. Tack.
then what was Brian David Gilbert?
What did he
on?
say?
There's something like "Dame there."
The.
When it comes to
I
your
learned-
nation, I don't know much.
I learned jag vill ha en kall öl and Styrstärk.
Wasn't there one of like little?
Var ligger
Let
det
me ask.
Systembolaget?
It should have umbita.
What do these mean?
Hmm?
It should have umbita.
I don't know.
I want to learn common sayings in a
Say
bunch
that
of
when you're
random
passing
languages.
Skulle vi kasta Jenny i vattnet? Should we throw Jenny in the water?
I knew you knew that. one.
Yes.
No, you say that. You say that whenever you're passing someone, like going behind someone. You go. "Et
You can
skulle-
ask-
You say like "Et skulle umbita."
Entschuldigung bitte is German for excuse me please.
Ah,
Really?
Yes.
That's German. Entschuldigung.
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 Bitte.
Bitte.
Bitte is please.
See, I like little things like that. I want to learn a bunch of little sayings like "excuse me" or "thank you" or "please" and stuff like that in just a
different
bunch
languages.
of different languages,
Yeah.
just to say it.
Yeah.
Being like "danke," little stuff like that. You know?
Danke. Bitte.
Yeah.
Bitte actually is,
Thank you,
is
please.
please. It's please and
Por
and thank
favor.
you.
Really?
Yeah. It's bitte.
Good.
Bitte.
Danke is thank you. Bitte. Please. Bitte. You're welcome.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
You can
bitte.
ask Emma.
Hola.
Danke, bitte.
Yeah, she's Swedish.
Ask Emma. Swedish.
Half Swedish. Yeah.
Your
'cause
roommate,
did,
Emma?
I did converse a little bit in Swedish with her.
That's
Her,
crazy.
Barely.
her dad is from Sweden, so she's
Really?
actually half Swedish.
And
Not like-
you told me where he was from too. Gothenburg?
Yeah, we always get into this, and I keep forgetting.
Emma, who is listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah. Hi, Emma.
Shout
I want to
out
say,
Emma.
I was thinking she was Gothenburg, which is Gothenburg.
She will.
Gothenburg, Nebraska
She
is
will.
named
I'll
after
tell her.
Gothenburg,
A lot
Sweden.
of everywhere is named after everywhere.
A lot of
Yeah.
it is, yeah. Yeah.
Like New Amsterdam.
Fun fact.
New
Really
York.
good maps.
I learned the town of Albion. Like,
Okay.
you know, Albion in
I know
Nebraska.
that place.
I know a guy
Albion.
there. Okay.
The name of Albion.
Miss Kramer's brother lives in Albion.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The
Anyway.
town of Albion, the name was determined over a game of euchre.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I think
Sounds about right.
one group was playing for Manchester or something like that, and the other played for Albion.
That's so Nebraskan.
I found that out on their wiki page.
I'll be darned.
Why
Yeah.
are we on
Malmo,
That's pretty
I
maybe?
just happened to be.
Malmo, yeah. We went through Malmo.
There's a Malmo in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that where...
Or Abacos?
Abacos. That's where I
Abacos.
stayed. That's where
No,
I,
that's where you
That's where I
stayed.
stayed, Abacos.
Albatross.
And that's just up. That's up the
Ystad.
coast from Ystad.
Isn't albatross the bird
Y-S-T-A-D.
you can't eat?
Ystad.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't.
Not supposed to eat now.
There's Schieffer.
I thought it was illegal.
Huiverp is right north of Abacos. They have a pizzeria. They had a pizzeria
I can't
there.
remember. I can't differentiate in my mind if it's a place that you mentioned or a place that Emma mentioned.
Well, when we flew to Copenhagen, we flew from Omaha to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to
Outside.
Stockholm, Stockholm to Copenhagen, and then we had
I feel like I texted
someone
her
pick
this
us
once.
up we took a ferry boat from Copenhagen to Malmo, and then had somebody pick us up at Malmo and drove down to Abacos. Beautiful country.
I have a
Socialist.
feeling I know what you're going to say next.
Found it.
Very expensive.
Whatever these
You're missing a 5-letter word.
Far
there.
more.
Dad.
and deadly.
Former dad?
Farmore.
Farmore. What's that?
Grandma or grandpa?
Oh,
Grandma.
That's the.
Far and more.
Far.
I thought our grandma was German.
Anyway, one of her grandparents and her dad.
I have no idea how to pronounce that.
What are we talking about?
Molnul. And hamburger.
Hamburger.
Better go.
Hamburg.
I would like
But
to have
another thing you have to worry about, you have to be
hamburguesa
cognizant
con
of.
queso.
One thing you have to be
Hamburger with cheese?
One thing you have to be cognizant of
Well,
with Swedish is they've got
fromage.
3 more letters in the alphabet than we do.
Really?
Yeah. There's an A with a circle at the top, looks like the Anaheim Angels
I know what you're talking about.
insignia. There's one of those.
What
There's,
sound does that make?
I can't remember.
Did you know that in Welsh, W is a vowel?
Really?
Really?
Yes.
That's
Fun
cool.
fact.
Because my lit professor can speak Welsh and did her,
How do you know they're speaking Welsh if you can't understand it?
because she did her
That's a good point.
dissertation on translating an entire Welsh thing.
Okay, we'll give it to her.
Yeah.
You could just be improv right there.
And she speaks it in front of the class. And I'm like,
Okay.
You know what was really cool when I went to Wayne State was Dr. Is it
Go Cats.
Zonheiser?
I don't know. That's a
Amy.
word.
He taught English, and his wife taught German.
And
That's fun.
And he was an American in Germany when he met her.
A German came
yeah,
to
German.
America.
She was from Hamburg, I believe it was. And then when they would converse at home, he spoke German, she spoke English,
That's
you know what's
weird.
crazy?
just to practice.
It's about Emma's mom. Emma's mom, Laura, Shalene. Shout out Shalene.
That's such an
I don't remember
interesting
how
name.
she and Emma's dad met. I don't remember how they met, but she went.
In person?
Yeah, but she went back with him to Sweden, not knowing any Swedish at all.
That's
went
wild.
Went to school, got a degree.
And still didn't know Swedish? Or
Well,
Well,
I
she
learned
learned
she
it, but
knew.
she
learned it.
she went to school and moved there,
What a big
not knowing
jump.
any Swedish.
That's wild.
That's the
She's
kind of
just a
stuff you
smart
got
woman.
to. That's the kind of stuff you got to do before you turn 40, because I don't
My
think
brain's not elastic
I don't
enough.
think I don't think my brain absorbs anything anymore.
Oh, dude, the language barrier is crazy. It
Yeah.
sucks.
I wish we would have.
But if you
since
grow up
we're-
with it, it's easy.
I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish we
true.
would have started
where-
on Spanish, like
Okay, good.
15
Yeah, go
years
down to the
ago.
very
Yeah.
southern tip. Well, you saw.
I need to
Abacos.
learn
Okay.
sign language.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What was the other one
That'd
I
be
was
cool.
looking at?
I was just telling Quinn that this morning we were
so
very
the-
far away, and I was like,
The other story,
maybe.
when we were in Sweden, I met high school classmates of the people that we went.
I thought
the
you were going
foreign
to say
exchange
Jenny.
students.
So you could
No,
start-
I met Yenny. Yes.
Yenny.
Yeah, but
Laurel?
no.
we met. I can't remember what her first name was.
Yes, it's outside of Gothenburg.
I met this young lady because in Sweden you graduate high school at 16, and then you go on to
University?
Well, no, you're
College is like high school.
yeah, like a tech school.
Yeah.
That's paid for,
Oh, okay.
so you can go there for 2 years, and then after that
Go to uni.
you go to uni, and you have to pay for that. But anyway, this girl that we met was a friend of the people that we went there with, from high school. She was 16. Okay, her grandmother was born in Bulgaria. So whatever the hell they speak in Bulgaria.
Bulgarian.
Yeah, she spoke that. Her dad was Hungarian. They had emigrated or mixed or whatever it was, and her dad was Hungarian, so she whatever they spoke there, she spoke that. They emigrated to Sweden. Learned Swedish.
Nice Swedish.
Took German and English in high school.
Oh,
Fluent in 5 languages.
Fluent.
Because I listened to her. Her grandma, while we were visiting, her grandma, she was on the phone with her grandma speaking whatever the hell, that kind of thing. Anyway, then German and English in high school, and she was working on, I don't remember if it was Russian or Chinese. I think it was Russian.
Wow.
Which are both
working on
insane to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
16,
Russian and Chinese are crazy.
16 and 5 languages under her belt.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just going, we're working on Spanish. We're working,
I'm
Hola.
yeah.
Hola.
I'm so bad at Spanish.
Yeah.
Sábado
or
gigante.
a little bit of German here and there. Is like, are you kidding? We are so far behind.
That's what I would say to Mom a little bit ago. I go, mi gato es grande. And she goes, Indy es muy grande.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Mom still remembers a little bit, yeah.
I'm on my Duolingo grind.
On
Speaking
my
of which,
Duolingo grind.
But
I
yeah,
have to
the
do-
sign language thing.
I do
think
it in the
she'd
morning.
learn.
Sign language, yeah, I gotta
You
learn
should
sign
learn that.
language because sign language is cool.
I think I was just commenting today. I think I need to learn some Spanish.
See, but also there's different sign
there
languages.
is
British sign
American
language.
sign
There's
language.
American sign language?
Australian sign language.
British is American sign language, but you have
How
bad
close
teeth.
are they?
What did you say?
I said British is American sign language, but you just have bad teeth.
Cut that out.
No, not out of the audio. Just stop.
Yeah, stop right there. You need to learn
You have to
finger
understand,
binary.
in the 60s, in
British
Britain, you could
British
have
sign
bad teeth.
language. British sign language is just American sign language, but they
With an accent.
With an accent.
cuts off.
Yep.
You just have to
Yep.
pronounce color with a different letter somehow.
Yeah. Pronounce it with a Z.
C-O-L.
Oh, you are.
I just have to learn. You gotta learn finger binary, man.
It's
great.
R.
Okay, now that you've shown me enough of it, I could probably do it.
Look at him go.
31.
To our listeners, he was just doing
five,
a bunch of
five fingies. That's 31.
pointies with his
'Kay.
fingers, like counting. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
He's just counting
Audio
on the
listeners are.
audio.
it's a
hate
way
this.
to count.
I like that you say audio
31
listeners, like
on
there's
one
visual
hand.
Yeah, I
listeners
know.
when there's not.
There are no visual
So like
listeners.
there's a ones.
Yeah,
What is
it's a
it?
way you can count to
wonder
31
if-
on one hand.
1,
It's very nice.
2.
That just
Nope.
brings
One.
back a memory. I was reading a book one
2,
time, and they were
3.
talking about the way the Native Americans,
So thumb is 1, pointer is
2.
Two.
the way the Native
Middle
Americans
is
counted.
4.
Yeah.
And it seems like it was
8.
something similar to that. They would
Really?
go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Is
and
ring
6,
6
7,
or
8, 9,
8?
10, and then hold one finger to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
Ah.
that kind of thing.
Is
That's
ring
what I
6
took
or
from
8?
Ring
One.
is 8.
So 8 and then 10.
16.
Oh, it doubles.
1, 2, 4,
4,
8,
8,
16. So
then,
then you
yeah.
just add them up.
Oh,
Yeah.
binary.
So you-
Okay.
It's-
yeah.
So you do your
binary.
thumb,
Yeah.
that's 1.
Yeah.
Pointer, that's 2.
2.
Thumb and
Thumb and
pointer,
pointer, that's 3. And so on and so forth.
Middle, that's 4. Thumb and middle is 5.
It's blowing my mind. I can't.
It's so fun.
Ring is 6.
And then I
Thumb
gotta
and ring
absorb
is
this anymore.
7.
I
I
gotta
don't
like
think
point
I
at
can
people.
audio.
And he was
it.
doing it super fast.
How many are
That's
they?
my-
And I'll hold up 2 fingers. They're like 2, and I'm like 6.
False.
Yeah, exactly.
Nuts. And
Nuts.
How many beers?
That's funny.
Have you not heard that?
For all
joke,
our
Quinn?
audio listeners,
Quinn?
she
Yeah,
held
that
up
one.
Oh, I know,
2
yeah.
fingers and referenced the number 6 in finger binary, while
No, I
also
didn't.
referencing a previous joke that is not to be told right now.
No, that can be told.
It will be told right now.
A Roman walks into a bar and holds
No,
up 2
no, no,
fingers
no.
and
Yeah,
says,
no.
5 beers, please.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
it
that-
makes a V.
No,
Because
I
it makes
thought
a
he was-
V.
I
You
thought he was
get
doing
it?
it from History of the
Roman
World Part 1.
numerals.
That too. Nuts. NVTS.
Yeah,
Nuts.
History of the World Part 1.
I was telling somebody about that today.
NVTS. Nuts.
Yeah.
I had someone reference that a couple weeks ago, and I went, "You
Really?
I found you."
I found you.
You do exist.
We are best friends.
We are best friends. Our fathers are the same. Miss Hanson claps. Miss
I
Hanson,
love
who
the
listened
video.
to 2 hours of this podcast now.
I caught her when a ball game Friday night.
Oh, yeah?
And as we were walking, I went to the bathroom first, and I was walking in. I was walking behind her, and I said, "Hi, Liam."
She's gonna get kicked out of that.
That's funny. That's good.
Oh, yep. Shout out Liam.
Shout out.
He's
Liam.
wonderful.
She's just lovely.
Hi, Liam.
Just a lovely lady.
She's like, it wasn't that great.
It was. I bet it was accurate too.
It was so accurate.
Oh, yeah.
She had the big backpack and everything.
And the headphone and holding the phone out.
holding the phone horizontally. She had everything.
And then you just say, get into character, and she just slumped.
I just went, I'm Liam. It was great. It was incredible.
I enjoyed all of the homecoming
Who are you?
TikToks.
Liam.
I'm Liam.
I think you need
Yeah.
to get back on that TikTok grind.
That TikTok grind. I'm going to be releasing TikToks eventually. So,
It just takes some day.
yeah, it just takes a little bit. So, this is going to be an actual episode of the Crofton Warrior Podcast. This is not a goof off.
Really?
Yeah.
You are with 3 Crofton Warrior alumni.
I am. Dad, what has changed in the school since you were at the school?
Let's make this
number
relevant
one,
to
I didn't graduate from the school that you graduated from.
You were at the elementary.
I went to elementary, and the school that was the big brick house that was right next door to
Brick.
House.
that. When it was, when was that destroyed?
90s.
I never knew.
Yeah, I graduated
90s?
in 1982, and so yeah, we didn't have we had the track. The track and the football field was out there. Yeah.
Really?
Wasn't Grandpa on the board when
When they built it?
Yeah.
92, yeah.
Yeah, because his name is up there.
Yeah, we found his name in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
high school.
I
Grandpa's on
found
school
it
board.
like a day ago.
So yeah, that would.
Guys, here's an Easter egg for all you listeners.
Bingo. That's what's changed. Is
Yeah.
I mean,
different
when I was,
school.
and I don't remember
Cut.
when they
Easter
changed,
egg.
but football games were held on the Blue Jay baseball park, Crofton Baseball Park.
Really?
Out in the outfield. That's where they held the football games.
Fun
I
fact.
barely remember going to one of those. Not necessarily because I was too young, but because we just didn't go anywhere.
So was there just a track rather than a football field?
There
in
was no
between the
track.
There was no
No
track.
track.
But just where the track was, you would run. But you said there was a track.
Through the
Did you
grass.
not?
No, I mean the new football field they had a track.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they had a
never
track
Oh.
around that, but we never played on it.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I did. I think I did run on that. I think I ran that in 8th grade,
mind. Oh,
something like that. But anyway, yeah,
On
I
a
ran
dirt
on the
track.
track, but they didn't have any. I mean, there was whatever. It was. I don't know how long it was.
I can't even imagine thinking about, what's changed since you've been in school? Like, even since we've been in school. so much
that's
has changed.
true.
Yeah,
I did
and
graduate in 1982.
The part that's really changed for the worse, I believe, is all the regulations and stuff that have
Oh, yeah?
that have serviced. They used to be able to do a lot more for a lot less.
Like what?
And because of regulation, they have to hire different people. They have to,
No more asbestos.
Just let this guy I know
Yeah.
do it.
yeah. I mean, that was pure silliness, for lack of a better word, was the whole asbestos scare. I mean, you had to be knocking that stuff down and breathing it in for 2 years.
Yeah, there's still
I'm
asbestos in
exaggerating,
this
but
wall.
you had to be knocking it down and breathing it for 2 years for the cancer to ever take hold.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and nobody was ever doing that, but you were forced to put up barriers so that nobody would get asbestos.
Precautionary.
Yeah, precautionary kind of crap.
Yeah, kind of crap.
Interesting.
And there's limitations to how many kids can be in the classroom, and there's it's just
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing because
it depends on which angle you're
teacher
looking
can only
at it.
handle so much
Yeah,
sometimes.
I agree with that. That there's only so many things, but there's so many things you have to teach now. You have to
There's
So-
strict.
Yeah,
You got
stricter
to get a lot in. as a
stricter
teacher.
standards that you have
stricter
to
standards is the
make
best.
sure they meet throughout the year.
And like dumb standardized tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's educating us more or better now?
No.
more better.
Oh, I know
Not
this-
specifically standardized tests.
You know,
but
your
like,
mother stated at one time that there under George Bush Sr. they had a program called No Child Left Behind.
Yes.
I remember that.
Your mother stated the fact it's more like no child allowed to excel.
Oh, yeah, because there were plenty of kids.
Like-
There were plenty of kids that I worked with, and I'm like, they should not be moving to the next grade, especially how heavily all those kids were affected by COVID.
Oh yeah.
Because when they,
Yeah, you're like 3.
especially in Lincoln, for us, we were back in school,
back
the,
in school
next
the next
year.
year.
We did have masks, but we were back in school the next year. They weren't in school for like 2 years,
They were
and then
at
they went back
home.
with masks, and then they weren't, go back to real life didn't happen for like 3 or 4 years for some
Right,
of them.
yeah.
So
Think of all the teaching that had to be reinstated or
Yeah.
oh yeah,
redone.
some of our 5th graders terrible reading, writing, math skills because
Arithmetic.
they were multiple grades behind, and they were 5th graders going to middle school. So in that kind of sense that they absolutely shouldn't be moving on. They're not ready, and they're just being set up for failure because they don't know
They're just being pushed
how
to
to
the next
spell
grade.
But they're just being pushed
basic 4-letter words, but
through. They know how to say them.
Yeah.
4-letter words. I mean,
yeah. But no, spelling, they're just terrible.
I would.
and I don't know that I blame that all on COVID or anything like that. I think
On
I just-
HW.
yeah, or HW. Or
Yeah,
anything
not.
like
But that's just a really big factor of all them being at home. And some kids, their parents were able to help them with stuff, but some were not.
Yeah, but there's a reason some parents are not teachers. You know,
And that put a lot of pressure on parents that did not choose that path or, for good reason, had to do that.
Whereas I do, I'll say it quietly so she doesn't hear it or whatever, but I think you kids are very, 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 very lucky you have a teacher for a
Oh
mother.
God, yeah.
100%.
Oh God, yeah.
I will sing praises any day.
Of Ginger.
Yeah.
All the praises of Ginger.
You too. What a fella. Nux.
It's not just us though. I mean, there's generations of kids coming out of St. Rose that are just better off.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so where you start from, It's great. You done good.
You done good, Dad.
What do you mean not done good?
You done good. I'd say we're pretty good.
I got lucky in life.
Aw.
Aw. That's so sweet. I'm going to close off. Final thing. What do you think your goal is
Oh God.
in living?
Oh, I could name this one for Diana.
Yeah. What's your
Go ahead.
Oh, well, you always go, my life is, like, dedicated to you kids now and, like, making sure you're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Anytime
you-
we ask
you
him what
really
he
do.
wants
You
for
just-
Christmas,
Yeah,
I
he-
want my kids to be,
Or,
happy
okay,
and
no,
safe
growing
and
up-
financially stable.
Growing
and-
up, he said, don't date till you're 20. That's what he wanted for Christmas. And now he
You
says,
know what? That still goes to yeah.
Dwayne.
Don't date till you're 20.
I'm 20.
I'm
I know.
22.
Don't
But,
date till you're 20.
but
That
now
leaves you, buddy.
but now it's like,
Hold off.
yes, we want my kids to be financially stable and happy and have a good job and come
Not to
home.
say that doesn't
You know,
change, but like you're going to be an empty nester here soon.
I'm going to be an empty nester here soon, and it concerns me.
Yeah.
Not for me, but for wifey.
Who is
When-
listening to this? Thank
when-
you, Mom, for listening.
When my mother was an empty nester, she went out and got a job,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, because I remember her working.
and my dad he couldn't understand what the heck she wanted to do that for. Well, when you spend all your life raising kids, and you guys know, my mom was taking care of 2 families with my uncles, and my bachelor uncles and our family. She was so used to being so busy, and then to have nobody in the house, to be
nobody to take care of.
cooking for 2 rather than 7. Nobody to take care of. All of a sudden, she's bored.
Yeah.
She's bored out of her skull.
Yeah.
So that was that's a different. And as far as us being empty nesters, I
think the same
I'll-
thing about you, though, Dad, with you going to work and such, and then you're always coming home and tinkering with whatever. I'm like, what are you going to do when you don't have to go to work?
You're going to retire.
Get
and
another job?
He
I
will
have
get a job at
I'll
Baumgar's.
Work at the bar at the
Baumgar's
damn
or
shack.
Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee, so I can afford to eat.
Work at the bar at
You're
the
going to have
damn
a drive
shack.
over there.
Yeah.
Won't be 5 minutes.
Work at the what?
Work at the bar at the damn shack.
Yeah, he would do that.
Work the bar at the damn
Plug.
shack or the station in Fordyce or whatever. It's just you have to. If you're going to retire, you have to have a reason to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. You have to have a reason to get out of bed. And
That happens to be Ginger.
Yeah, if you don't have that, you die.
Wow.
I mean, that's plain and simple.
Yeah.
You have nothing to do, you die. So
You're right.
yeah, if I ever get to retire, that's probably what I'll be doing is tinkering with
Mowing lawns.
I get enough of that now.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. You already
Cemetery and Constance.
like
get
a
up to
Forrest
so
Gump
much
type.
now.
You know, yeah, I would have to get up and be busy. But
Yeah.
Make your rounds. That's what I've always said.
Grandpa Schieffer did that.
Grandpa Schieffer
Make
did
your
that.
rounds.
You'll figure out your rounds to make.
Oh yeah,
Go bother the nephews or something.
But yeah, that's the main goal.
that's
is
the goal.
And play golf
you-
with Grant.
You guys need to be happy and healthy, and you know, then I'm good.
Huh. How sweet.
Well, I think I'm doing okay with that. So
What a nice end to a podcast. A long podcast.
Oh, what time are we at right now?
I
Before
don't,
edits?
Well, before edits, we're at like 2 hours and 9 minutes right now.
Good
Probably
grief.
10 minutes. So
The podcast's going to be 30
The good
minutes
news is
long.
we didn't-
We're cutting
podcast is 30 minutes
We're
long.
The
cutting
good news
everything.
is we didn't put anybody to sleep.
except
I
for
mean, that
Ginger.
you know of.
Well, yeah, we sent Ginger to bed.
Yep. Anywho, thank you for podcasting. Any
Yeah.
any final words for all our listeners who sat through this? Thank you, Miss Hanson.
Yeah, rule number 1:
People are stupid.
people are stupid. Don't be stupid.
Yes.
Roll number 2.
Caveat to rule number 1: somebody thinks you're a moron,
Mm-hmm.
but try and convince them otherwise.
That's good. Try and convince them otherwise.
my advice here's what Dad always tells me. He says, "Respect yourself and respect others."
There you go.
That's what Dad always says.
Good
So
one.
do that.
Carl, your words of encouragement and advice.
I'll do Dad's encouragement and advice, which is remember to fill up your gas tank.
And check your oil.
And check your oil.
Hey, all
Check
you
your
listeners
oil.
out there, go check your oil.
Yes.
Check your tire pressure. Put some
Mm-hmm.
windshield wiper fluid in there
And,
while you're at it.
and drink some water.
Know how to change a tire, for God's sake.
Yeah. Great.
We
Well-
we just got that experience 2
Sorry-
weeks ago.
Sorry, your advice, your listener.
Dear listener. Well, outro time. The Animal Crossing music is faded in by now.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to read this here. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Crofton Warrior Podcast. We really appreciate your continued support and the fun stuff that not only I get to do, but the entire journalism team as a whole. I brought this podcast stuff home, and everyone's fine with it. It's a great time. You can catch us on Instagram at Crofton Journalism, TikTok at Warrior Journalism, Crofton Warriors on Facebook and Twitter. If you want just me, that's at Jack Schieffer on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you want Quinn,
QR Schieffer on anything.
K.A. Schieffer on anything.
and Dad's not going to give out his social media information.
go
You can
to the
find
bank.
him to the bank.
You can find him at the bank.
Oh, good God.
Cedar Security.
Go
in Fordyce
go
most of
hang
the
out with
time.
Dad. Get some financial advice for free if it's not worth any thought.
If it requires thought, it costs you.
Go get
Yeah.
a sucker from Cedar Security Bank
get a
and say hi
sucker.
to Duane.
Exactly.
Tell him we sent you.
Yes. Say, hey, I'm from the I listened to the 2-hour podcast.
And then open a debit card account.
Exactly.
There you go. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Onward.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Onward and upward.
In podcasting fun.